I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fam's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one chief rocker and Knicks universe. Your main man, Uncle Freezie. What's good, y'all? Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly. Right? All right, let's go. Knicks fans, we may never lose again. Let's go. Get that energy all the way up, man. Get that energy all the way up. Get that energy up, family. The Knicks beat the Celtics a lot to a little bit. I don't care nothing about the score. I don't care nothing about the box score. I don't care who scored the most points. I don't care nothing about none of that stuff. You know what I care about? Yo, the Knicks beat the Boston Celtics. Now, take that NBA landscape. We here, baby. Excuse that. We here. We here. Yo, and I know a lot of people want to talk about, you know what I'm saying, the box score and who took what shot and all of that stuff and do recaps and all that stuff. I'm not a newscaster. That's not what I do. Y'all know what this party is about. This party is about real conversations. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying, just talk about box scores and who did this and that unless there's a compelling point. If there's no compelling point, if there's no real fan conversation to be had, I ain't talking about it. Y'all know me. Y'all come in, sit back, kick it, and enjoy the ride. I got my main man backstage. He revving to go. He hit me up earlier. But of course, you know, when I bring people up, I got to do respectfully. I know I got to do it this way. what's good,
yo,
buddy?
Lee's intro sound like it was a little bit of Dilla in there. Some.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Little bit, right? Hey, yo, I was thinking Slum Village was gonna come through and spit a verse or something.
That would have been dope.
Slum Village, little Common. You know what I'm saying?
What's up,
Little
Dre?
Kanye.
What up? What up, Lee? How y'all doing? How y'all boys doing
Man,
tonight?
super excited, bro. You know what the vibe is, bro. We super excited. Welcome to the Knicks at Night podcast, everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm your main man, Uncle Freezie. I'm joined by Mr. Lee, the distinguished Mr. Lee, and I know basketball man Dre. What's good, boss? Bosses.
What's good? What's good, boss?
I'm chilling. I'm thoroughly entertained by what I saw tonight,
Yes, sir.
and I'm looking forward to the future, wherever this ride may take us.
Right,
Yes, sir.
right. I got a color TV so I can see the Knicks play basketball. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? I'm excited. Yo, somebody got something playing in the background?
I think that might be Lee. Lee don't got no headphones in. You might have no headphones.
Nah, but I ain't got nothing in the background. That's for sure.
Okay.
Everything muted.
You're hearing the echo. You're hearing that feedback from us because you don't have headphones in. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
We're gonna just fix that. We're gonna just fix that right now.
Okay.
Bet.
Okay. I heard something. I didn't know exactly what it was, but
Yeah,
welcome
there
to
it
the
goes.
Tonight podcast, y'all. I'm gonna get the party started off on a foot. I don't know if it's the right foot, but I'll say I'm gonna start by asking you guys several questions, and it's not gonna be strategic or historic. It's like gut feelings. Like, how do you feel about the way that this Knicks team is playing basketball right now?
Excited.
Okay.
Yes.
Happy.
Proud.
Okay.
We the last two games we led wire to wire.
Wire to wire, bro.
Last
Yes,
game.
sir.
In different
Wire to wire.
fashions, like in different fashions, where it's like it's not necessarily Brunson having a great game or Randle having an outstanding game. Randle had like a regular Randle game tonight by all things.
Right.
RJ didn't play well. Brunson didn't play particularly well. But depth showed up, and Mitch showed up big time. They were terrified of the paint.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Right. Hey, you know what I noticed tonight that really sets this team, it turns this team into a championship hopeful as opposed to a playoff contender. And all that means is just one step closer to making noise in the playoffs. Now, I'm not getting ready to say, King Kong ain't got nothing on us. I'm not saying that. But the thing that takes us from a glad to be a playoff team to a playoff team that can make some noise to a championship hopeful if everything goes right is the Knicks are passing the basketball.
Yes, they are.
You saw tonight at some point Clyde was like, yo, okay, enough with the unselfish play, man. Y'all may be overpassing. You can't get into offense because you overpassing. And I agree with Clyde some, but part of the learning how to win thing is by trying to establish good habits. And I think the Knicks are trying to establish good habits. So they failed at some of that. But at the same time, by establishing good habits, those habits become routine. So now you don't see the Knicks play with their food. You don't see the scenario where the Knicks get up by 12 on the Celtics, and then the Celtics come all the way back and get a 10-point lead, and then the Knicks fight their way back in. The Knicks jumped on the Celtics early and kept the lead throughout.
Put our foot on their neck.
And every time they made like a mini 6-7 point run, we hit them right back. Like, for instance, in the first half, RJ didn't play well, but he basically had a run that put us back up. 17,
8-point run.
Yeah,
8-point run.
And then IQ did it in the third quarter when he came in. And I think we did it one more time in the fourth quarter when they went like on a run, and then that's when Tatum got ejected.
Yeah,
and all that other stuff. Like we have enough depth, and where we can stem the tide where not necessarily everyone has to be playing well throughout the entire game, but if we get certain spurts or timely spurts from who we need from our top 4 or 5 guys, it'll be hard to win against us, especially if we're playing defense like this.
Right.
And controlling the boards and limited turnovers.
Of course. And yo, the thing is about it too, boss, is this. The thing about like what y'all were mentioning, like those parts of the game, that in previous months or maybe weeks ago, you would see us kind of give you an example. The not Washington, that's one of them, but not as egregious. The Toronto Raptors,
right,
where we get a big lead, they figure out a certain thing, and then they exploit it, and we can't do anything. We're like the punch drunk boxer, but we're not that anymore. You could see it,
and I want to give Tibbs credit for that.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna give the front office credit for that, and I'm gonna tell you why. The acquisition of Josh Hart was the major piece that was brought in to stem that right there, to kill that.
What up, bro?
Rel, shout out to Rel from GLO fam, Glow fam, We Talk Mavs. Shout out to them. That's our guy. Shout out to the big homies over there on We Talk Mavs. Hey, shout out to the homies at We Talk Hawks. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Definitely showing crew love. Make sure y'all go check them out. Excuse me. Man, I'm on this medication, man. This got me funky. Like a little, this medication got me a little, you know what I'm saying?
A little frazzled.
Drop of water.
Yeah, I need to drink some water. I definitely need to drink some water, bro. I've been drinking water. It's these medications because I'm a little injured. But anyway, I ain't gonna get into that. Or that's not even important. You know what I'm saying? But what I want to say though is the Toronto Raptors, they would exploit us with a specific shortcoming, and we couldn't figure it out. And now when teams try to exploit certain things, we just you know what I'm saying, just impose our will on them now. Execute by showing good habits.
It's almost legitimately like how in football the term ground and pound. That's legitimately what we do.
Right.
It may not look the best. It may not look the most flashy. Sometimes you might need a more sister ball movement, but in the way that we play, it limits turnovers.
Yep.
We get more rebounds than other teams, so we control possessions. And that's half of the battle right there. Once you limit turnovers and get more rebounds, that just gives you more opportunities. It gives you more room for error. Where you don't have to shoot an amazing percentage. Where a few of your top guys could shoot poorly, and it doesn't really matter towards the end of the game when you look up and Brunson and RJ play terrible, but we still won by 15.
Yes.
Also
Randle
too having
have to drop 40 for us to win by 15.
Yeah, also having Mitchell back, man, he makes a major difference. I mean, rebounding, just the intimidation on the inside. So those little things that, not to say that I appreciate Jericho and Hartenstein, and they went hard for us. They went hard and they did good work.
The best you could do, but
they could
you can't make up for that length. You can't make up for that.
You can't make up for that. All the athleticism. I mean, the way he got at
Tatum.
Tatum, when he blocked Tatum's shot, were you talking about ugly? Ooh,
yeah.
After Tatum,
that was sending a message.
Yeah, go ahead, Lee.
That was sending him a message.
After Tatum got his shot punched, he didn't really go into the paint like that. If you noticed, he was setting for a lot more jumpers.
Nah. and Lee, to your point, the game before that against the Sixers, you remember Jason Tatum was at the rim dunking at will. I think he had like 4 dunks.
He wasn't shooting well in that game, but he closed that game out. Yeah. He closed it out. He wasn't shooting well that game, but he was attacking the paint because his jumper wasn't falling. He wasn't attacking the paint here at all.
Right. And you know what? And the funny thing, or not funny, like haha, but ironic. The ironic thing is there are a lot of games where Jason Tatum does not shoot the ball well against us, but they still win. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like a huge story. Jason Tatum shot 9 for 27, but they won. Like, I don't know if y'all remember, but last season, the season opener that went to double overtime.
Oh
Jason Tatum was
RJ locked him up.
He was like 6 for 27 in that game.
Ooh,
yeah,
it was ugly. If it wasn't for Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, they wouldn't have done it.
And Kemba Walker giving them the ball. Kemba Walker was a fast break for their team in that game. Those 2 turnovers out the stretch. You know what I'm saying? And Fournier taking ill-advised threes, heat check threes in a close game. But anyway, my point is, I believe that what we're seeing from the Knicks right now, for the most part, is sustainable.
Yes.
Like I heard one of the reporters ask Thibodeau about this run that the Knicks are on. He's like, "Yo, with this run that you guys are on," and blah 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 blah. And I was thinking, is this a run, or is this who we are? And I'm gonna say the latter. I think this is who we are, because when you think about it, if it was a run, one player would be playing out of their mind. Right? Or the Knicks would be shooting like 50% from 3 over like 7 games. Nah, the Knicks not doing that. The Knicks are being who they are, and during the regular season, this has got to be the caveat. During the regular season, the Knicks are performing well on a nightly basis, regardless of who the competition is. And a lot of us would consider the Boston Celtics a top 3 team in the NBA. And we beat them. And even without Jaylen Brown, that team is still a talented team.
A lot of depth.
Of course, a lot of depth. Yep.
Because for the fact that like Tatum wasn't playing well, Brogdon stepped up and was playing at a very comparable level.
Yep.
I won't say he's playing at Jaylen Brown's level of explosiveness, but he had 20 to like an easy 20.
Yeah. And for the
while we're
record,
playing great defense.
And on for the record, on another team, Malcolm Brogdon is a starter.
Yeah,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Derek White is a quality starter in the NBA. He was a starter. Now I know he started tonight, but my point is he's not a slouch.
He won the Player of the Week for the East a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
And he was a key cog to getting them into the NBA Finals last season.
Yep. So ultimately, what I'm saying to you guys is I understand that and what I did by mistake, and I shouldn't have. I watched some other content on the Knicks before I got here, just a little bit, and it seems to me that there's still nervousness and trepidation about what this team is.
Yes,
it's 61 games into a season of 82.
I
mean, if you're a Knicks fan,
my bad. Go ahead.
If you're a Knicks fan right now, 61 games, you got no, I'm sorry, not 61 games, 63 games, 63 games into a season. You got, or is it? Or no, it's we have 21 games left, so it's 61, right? 61 games.
Yeah.
So 61 games in. What are you nervous about? I mean,
it's like I
was gonna say, like, even we make the playoffs, make some noise. Even if it were to come out to that sort of scenario, the long-term situation that we're in is probably one of the best in the league, short of the Bostons of the world or the guys that already have bona fide young superstars on max deals. Like, we're in an excellent position to be absolutely honest. We have so many, not to get ahead of ourselves, but we have so many means to pivot, and while we're developing young guys that are inflating their worth, or not inflating, but growing, like IQ, for instance, playing out of his mind at this moment. So
right.
it's one of those things where, like, I don't see the trepidation. And since Tibbs limited his rotation and basically took Cam Reddish out of it, and we went to a 9-man rotation 40 games ago. We've been 26-14 over that
26-14, bro. 26-14. And here's the other thing too, Lee, just real quick. Just real quick, right? Right? And Adam, hey, Adam, I texted you the link. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. But
shout out to Ned and Soulfinger in the chat.
I just lost my train of thought. Adam asked me to send the link again. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Go ahead, y'all.
You were talking about like our switching the rotation after that. After we switched the rotation in 26-14. Well, that's what I mentioned. I don't know if you wanted to pick up after that.
Okay.
Because at the pace that we're playing at, if we would have had figured it out earlier, we would have been on a 50-win pace or well over 50, like 52, 53.
Okay.
And this is with us sustaining injuries to Mitch over that run, sustaining injuries to RJ, and even Brunson missed some time over that run. I think 3 or 4 games.
All right, here's our guy. Let me cue the intro. Y'all just be patient with me for a little bit, man. I gotta play the intro for I gotta come in here. But I gotta bop through. Here he is. Yo,
what it do? What's
good, boss man? It's good to be with you, boss.
Oh man, I happened to be up. I was sitting around, me and my man Wise were chopping it up, excited, happy celebrating the win, talking about this win, this run we on right now. Well, I'm not gonna say this walk. We ain't hit our stride yet. This walk we on.
Yeah, man.
And saying, Lord, man, we said, man, he's talking about, I guess we spoke you up because lo and behold, who done popped up? Uncle Freezie.
Yeah, man. Just got some stuff going on, man. That's all.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's life.
Like, hey, that life thing, man. Adulting and all that stuff is no fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I am. The doctor was like, "Yo, did you listen to anything I said?" And I was like, "Huh." let me bring my guy in real quick. Hold on. That beat is fire, but I still like that beat. Adam, what's good, boss?
Yo, what's good, y'all?
What's good, bro?
I like that. I like
that. Salute to everyone, to the panel, to the chat.
Yeah, man. I like that. I like that beat, man, for Adam, bro. That joint is so New York and Florida at the same time. It's so East Coast. It's East Coast. Yeah, man. So Adam, what were you thinking when you saw the Knicks win tonight?
Well, I like their effort. I really do. I mean, I only saw half of the game. Like the second half on. I didn't see the first half.
Yeah, so you didn't really miss. Basically, what it felt like to me, where it was the Celtics wanted this game, hoped the Knicks would implode, The Knicks came out and balled. The Celtics felt like they had to go to a gear. That gear wasn't there, and the Knicks just ran them off the floor. That's basically what it felt like to me. And no knock on Boston, because when you're the number one seed, you can afford to throw out clunkers like this because you already built a cachet already.
Ain't the number one
you know what I'm
seed
saying?
no more.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But the thing about it is the Knicks know, and Boston knows, and the Knicks know that we are not a threat to Boston in the playoffs, right? Like we're not gonna sweep Boston in a playoff series, right? And if we tangle with them, it might be a 4-1, 4-2, but we're I'm confident in saying that the Knicks right now may not have the firepower to go against the Bostons, the Nuggets, the Bucks of the world. We might be a little ways away, but for the mere fact of us being in the conversation is a plus for us. So with Boston knowing that this game tonight, they'll get they ain't worried about it. They're gonna go back to the hotel. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do whatever they do and get ready for whoever, right? But for us beating Boston is validation that us having good habits and establishing winning basketball and a winning culture will get you the desired results that you want.
Facts.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So we're basically two franchises looking at the same game in two different lenses, and in my opinion.
I think we're about a year away, a year and a player away from really being a sustainable top tier team in this league.
Okay, top 10 meaning top 3 in the Eastern Conference.
Exactly.
Okay,
definitely.
I think that with us playing Brooklyn, with the Brooklyn game coming up, Dre, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound like hyperbole, right? It's gonna sound like I'm on the Empire State Building, but I think the Brooklyn game is a must-win.
Yes.
The Miami game Friday, maybe not, but the Brooklyn game is a must-win on a lot of different levels. Like we got to take over the city.
Facts.
Right? We can't let them have the city. 2, if we lose this game, we give them the lead back in the standings, right? And 3, a team on a winning streak like the streak that we're on, you don't want to have that streak broken by one of your rivals.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them to douse out. You don't want them to put out the fire.
Right.
You feel me?
Especially a descending team.
Yeah.
I don't honestly, I don't even feel like that's hyperbole. You want to maintain, like, even if they're viewed as a lesser opponent, you don't want a letdown coming from the Celtics to the Nets. It's not even thinking about the standings. You want to keep the momentum rolling. You want to see good basketball ultimately.
Okay.
And sometimes you might run into a team, you might run into the Nets, and because they're full of 3-point shooters, they might have the off night where they're just shooting 50% from 3 and they're just taking a high volume of it, and you're playing great defense. But you still have to play in spite of that. You still have to run these guys off the line. You still have to make them do things that they're uncomfortable with, and that's what winning basketball teams do. Winning teams with winning. What's the word I'm looking for? Winning habits. That's what you want.
Yeah,
Right.
winning habits and culture.
Right.
Yeah, so you don't want to have this letdown coming off of such. Basically, you want to say this is probably the biggest game of the season thus far for us, our biggest win. Absolutely.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Which one? The Boston win or the dub?
This
maybe
one right now. I mean, I feel like every game going forward, it raises your chances of having a game being the most important game in your season, as far as if we're factoring in standings and pushing up closer to the playoffs and playing well headed into the playoffs.
Okay.
But I feel like this is probably like stylistically, it wasn't the best game of the season, and it wasn't as dramatic towards the end. But we imposed our will, which makes that even more impressive to me.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, we went wire to wire, right? We went wire to wire, and
We
we
went
did that.
wire to wire with Brunson having one of the worst games he's had in the last 30 games.
Right.
And we went wire to wire last game too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Correct. Now,
The Knicks have no reasons to lose to Brooklyn with no KD, no Kyrie. They have no reason to.
There's professionals over there. There are reasons. There's professionals over there. They get game checks
just like
every 2 weeks, like we do over here. So there's no. We won't say there's no reason to, but we have the momentum. We have the more talented team. We have better coaching. Like we're on a roll right now, and they're a team that's just got put together. We're basically the same team plus Josh Hart. So we don't have. We shouldn't lose. I get what Adam is saying in that regard. We shouldn't lose, but anybody can lose. So
anybody
can
lose. Yeah.
The Knicks have to take advantage of the top two shooters no longer in Brooklyn. I don't care if Brooklyn is still good, but without KD and Kyrie, the Knicks have no excuse to lose to them whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm treating it like any given Sunday. I'm not scared of any team, but anything can happen because you can go in smelling yourself and then get cracked across the forehead. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we have to continue to take every game, just take it one game at a time. Don't look to the next team. Look at the team you got ahead of you. Bust their head to the white meat. Move on to the next. That's how I look at it.
Because the thing I've noticed since Josh Hart has been here, we've been like even before Josh Hart got here, we were in the overwhelming majority of our games. It took like a Herculean effort sometimes on most nights between Randle or Brunson to take us home.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're like, especially with Mitch back, we're physically dominant. Like we're beating teams up.
That's the Josh Hart effect.
Thank you.
And Mitch as well. That's Mitch in there too.
Well, I mean, well, we knew what we had with Mitch, but I said it before. The playoffs would have been a different thing if we had Mitch. Right. Not having Mitch is the thing. He's the anchor. But the thing is Hart brings that extra toughness. He's got that old school mentality, and he plays. He has the mentality of what Knicks fans miss from that 90s team, that tough grit, all up in you, get all up in you like a wedgie, and that type deal. Because our defense, I put it in the chat. If you look how we play defense, our defense are like body blows. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You keep hitting them, tagging them ribs, and Freezie, you speak to this, being that you're a boxer. You keep hitting them.
I used to be a clubber, but I don't.
Hey, once a box, always a box.
Yeah, I was at the doctor office today, man. The only thing cracking was my knees.
See,
and every time I go, I gain like 2 pounds. It's like I'm going like every week, right, just to get follow up. You know what I'm saying on certain thing. And he's like, well, you up 2 pounds from last week. I mean, well, you asked me to sit. You asked me to
what
just
you
put my foot
expect me to do?
Yeah, what you expect me to do? Damn it!
Yeah.
See, my thing is, as I was saying, is our defense like body blows. If you fighting and you hit that, they guard their face and everything. But if I keep hitting them ribs, I'm taking them ribs. Hey, them arms gonna come down. It's gonna get hard for you to breathe. And and that's what we do. We body blowing team. We giving teams these hard shots to the body, and it wears them down.
Let me add one thing to that, to the defensive thing. I don't because I don't want to have your point. You know what I'm saying? Just Thelma and Louise. Just go off the cliff, right?
No, I'm going off the cliff because
no, not you. I'm talking about the point. I don't want your point to go away. What I want to do is do a deep dive into it. Matter of fact, do I have a deep dive animation? I'm Adam. Do I have a deep dive animation, Adam?
What was that?
Do I have a deep dive animation? Let me check and see if I have a deep dive animation. Let me see.
And there he goes.
All right, so let's take a deep dive into what Soulfinger said, right? Based off of what Soulfinger said, man. I think the body blow thing he is pointing out is not the fact that we have one guy that can legit lock up Jason Tatum.
We got multiple guys,
but we have multiple guys that are really good perimeter defenders, and a couple of them are a lot better than what Knicks fans give them credit for.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is Obi Toppin.
A Freeze. I'm glad you said that, because did you see the multiple bodies we threw at Tatum today?
Right. That was the reason why I said I didn't want your point to go away.
Yeah, because if you notice how they defended us, what they're doing, just double Randle, and on
the wings. Anytime it doubling them on the wings,
and he's getting the ball out.
Yeah.
And what's the difference? You can get it to JB, and JB gonna get busy. He can get you that bucket, or he can move the ball. You see, when you did it to us before, when we had EP, man, look,
and Reggie Bullock.
Yeah, man, you stood a better chance running through hell and gasoline draws.
Yeah.
So,
and I was gonna say, Freezie, to that point, Josh Hart coming off the bench might be the best thing for the
might
team
be the
in
ideal
general.
scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because when he comes off the bench, when he's starting, he's getting 35, 36 minutes. And we know he plays with maximum effort.
Yeah.
When he's coming off the bench, he's giving you 28, 27 minutes of complete maximum effort all out with no breaks. So at the end of games,
back to back, no water.
Right. At the end of the games, when he's going for 50-50 balls like against the Wizards, he has a little bit extra in the tank that he already has the willingness to get the 50-50 ball, but he also has even more in the tank because we're getting Grimes minutes, we're getting IQ minutes, we're getting RJ minutes at the wing, and we're spacing them out. So we're just throwing them bodies at these guys wave after wave. And if you notice, since Hart's been here, RJ's defense actually has improved.
Yeah.
Hey, and since Hart has gotten here, you notice so I want to point out. Hey, Adam, I want to spotlight something. Do we have a player spotlight animation?
No.
I'm gonna see if I'm gonna find one. Okay. So I want to spotlight something. Let me see if I got.
Well, look at here.
All right. Okay. All right. Man, yo, I hadn't done this in a minute. I like finding these animations we got, bro. But anyway, let me spotlight RJ Barrett. In the Wizards game Friday night, right, coming out of the All-Star break, there was a play where RJ Barrett went to the rim, right, challenging his man Kyle Kuzma. Daniel Gafford caught off the paint, and Kristaps Porzingis was the weak side rim protection. And RJ Barrett shot the ball over 3 6'10" dudes and got his shot blocked. Right? Think about this. RJ Barrett as a 6'6" jumbo guard, small forward, whatever you want to call him.
Undersized power forward?
Yeah, undersized, whatever we want to call him, right? And so he went to the rim and tried to get a shot up over Kyle Kuzma, who's 6'10", their starting center, Daniel Gafford, that's 6'10", and Kristaps Porzingis, that's every bit of 7'3" as the weak side rim protector, right? RJ Barrett tried to shoot the ball over them. Everybody that saw the play lost it, right? Like, oh, RJ, what are you doing? All right. Since that point, RJ Barrett has made a concerted effort to, when he draws in the defense, to pass the ball around. And you notice since that mesh point, or thereabout, whenever it clicked in his mind that I got to stop doing that.
Yeah, I remember the play now, because I sure was like, man, what are you doing?
What are you doing, RJ? Come on, what are you doing? Oh, and so since that mesh point, thereabout, it might not be the exact time, but something may, because we noticed since that time, the Knicks offense has looked a lot better. Guys getting open threes, and it's because we are genuinely trying to pass the ball to guys that are open, sharing the sugar, so to speak. You notice
Sharon
that
is Karen.
if you notice the Pelicans game,
Yeah.
man, we passed the ball around a lot. A lot of people got touches. And if you notice the game tonight against the Celtics, Randle, when he got it, double team would come, he'd get it out. And a benefactor of that was a guy named Quentin Grimes, who, when teams closed out on him, attacked the closeout.
Yes, he did.
So he attacked the closeout.
And go ahead, go
ahead, boss. Go ahead, boss.
I was gonna tell you one other thing that surprised me. You talking about attack, and he didn't do it. He did it a couple of times, and it surprised me was Obi. Even Obi took a page out of that and attacked the basket a couple of times instead of sitting for his normal what he does. I think a lot of that is an attitude the team is taking on, and I'm saying it's the heart effect.
Okay. I can go there with you, man. I think I'm with you. I think the Knicks sharing the ball on offense, right? Now I know during the season, I know RJ is gonna get more shots, and I know Randle's gonna get more shots, and I know Brunson is gonna get back into the Brunson burner and things of that sort. But what I'm saying ultimately though is that Dre disappeared? Okay. But okay. All right. So what I'm saying is a team that shares the ball more has more threats in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So true. Because you can't key in.
Right.
Before you keyed in, the whole adage was key in on Randle, you shut down the Knicks, you stop him. Now you key in on Randle, he's moving the ball. Oh, now you got to worry about JB. But you close on JB. He can swing it. Well, I mean, the ball movement was. We had a few moments in the game where they were moving the ball around, and it wasn't always just a three because they're taking the middle, they're attacking the rack.
Right.
So now you got to step back and look at this team as a whole, and you can't sleep on them and defend them the way you defended them. I'm starting to, and it's not me jumping out of the window or jumping out of the boat or whatever, but the Knicks are starting to become a team that other team, the teams in the league don't want to see because it's showing more balance. We're showing a lot more balance. They're showing that camaraderie and the energy. Yeah, and this time you see that they want to play together.
Right. Chemistry.
The chemistry is there.
Synergy.
All the streets. Every other street you want to go out there. It's just the way they're playing, and I've said it before. I wasn't the biggest Tibbs supporter starting off because especially with a young team, but with a seasoned team, Tibbs is your guy. And granted, these guys are young in age and numbers, but the way they've been playing or how long they've been playing, you got veterans, young veterans. He's right for what we got going right now.
Right.
And the front office and Tibbs are starting to rock together.
Right.
And case in point with the trade.
Right. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I like what Josh Hart brings to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I like the fact that Josh Hart is a respected NBA veteran. Because there were times, like if you notice when we played the Scotty Barnes of the worlds now, Scotty Barnes don't talk to Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Nah.
Right. When the Knicks played the Celtics, Jason Tatum don't get into his bag against a Josh Hart because of the veteran presence. Marcus Smart is not yapping at Josh Smart. He's not yapping at Jalen Brunson. Right. You know what I'm saying? I saw there was a play during the game that was overturned, the most ridiculous challenge you ever saw in your life, talking about Jalen Brunson kick a player, right?
Oh man.
That was ridiculous.
I knew they were gonna give him tech. I knew they were gonna hit him with a tech too. I knew they were gonna do that just because.
Right.
And it took them an hour and a half to figure that out.
Yeah, and so the thing is, cats like Michael Jordan and Dirk Nowitzki made a living. You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant made a living, you know what I'm saying, with those type of shots. And I know it's a different era, but my point is guys don't necessarily come in with a chest full of oxygen against young guys like Grimes, RJ, Quickly, Obi, or whatever. Now, guys, because Jalen Brunson and Marcus Smart, from the couple of shots that I saw, like when they walked back out to the floor, they were talking to each other. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Anthony Edwards would have been talking trash to RJ the whole time. The whole 7 minutes.
Yeah.
The whole 7 minutes that was being reviewed, he'd have been talking like, you ain't him, blah, blah, blah. Or Scotty Barnes would have been talking at Quentin Grimes. You know what I'm saying? And now you got respected veterans on the floor. You have this feeling, this sensation that the Knicks are kind of respected a little bit. Now that doesn't mean that other teams fear us, but they at least respect certain. You know what I'm saying? Like certain players.
He brings a toughness. He brings a toughness. Before we would kind of, you have some elements of some. I won't go all the way and say softness, but some tenderness.
You can question some. You can question certain players.
Yeah.
For instance, like teams can't, like even teams that are like superbly talented, they can't stroll in here and play their B game and expect to get a W.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not buttoning up your P's and your Q's, you will lose by double digits playing against this.
And not only that, but you'll get beat up.
So what does that mean? What does that mean ultimately, though? Ultimately, what does that mean for the Knicks, though, Dre?
That we're more respectable. We are in a space where we're a force to be reckoned with if you don't take it seriously, and you will lose if you don't take it seriously. If you don't play to the best of your abilities, you cannot sleepwalk against this. And teams are starting to figure that out. That is a calling card for Tibbs teams. But there was also like a point where there was a talent deficit where teams could sleepwalk, even if we played to the best of our abilities with the Alfred Paytons of the world. Teams could sleepwalk and still get W's. Now at this point, we have no talent deficit. We're just as talented, maybe not as talented as the top end with the MVP caliber players, but from rotation 1 through 9, there aren't too many teams that are better than us in turn or have professional, like we have legitimately 6 or 7 or 8 guys that could be starters in the league on other teams in our rotation right now.
Okay.
I do like how you look at our defense, and they remind me of a swarm of bees. How they were like buzzing around and running people off because they actually work.
Smoking Nick wants to link Freezie.
Okay.
In the chat.
But like you said, to your point, Soulfinger, the rotations, defensive rotations were on point for the most part tonight. I mean, there wasn't too many lapses at all. You know, you see more lapses on handling the ball versus us losing a man in defense in the defense. So, I mean, you are so correct.
But having Mitch come back, you know, that's something right there. And you got to keep in mind we're playing with better synergy, chemistry, all them streets, but we haven't gelled yet. And I don't think anybody realized that we haven't gelled because you got to get used to, you know, even though we got hard on the team, they still got to get used to playing, get accustomed with playing with him. And he brings another toughness. Now, I kind of look at Hart, you know, I was listening with Walt and Mike was saying he's a throwback type player.
Right.
As in, and the player it made, and I'm not, you know, like I said, I don't want to make any comparison. Everybody want to compare him to this, compare somebody to that. But he gives you that energy that Starks used to give the Knicks of old.
Okay.
You know, but the thing is the rebounding, because you notice, Julius's rebound has gone down, but look what, but his and it's going to happen.
But has the team rebounding gone down?
No,
not at all.
That's the thing, and you got to look at it like this. I don't know if you notice how Tibbs has been using Hart, because yeah, he's coming in that fourth quarter, but you notice he's resting him throughout the game, and then it's like
He sicks him.
was it?
He sicks him like a wild
Let,
dog.
yeah, he let him out. Oh yeah, get him. Hey, get him. Hey, he let cocaine out the gate, and cocaine, chewing up everybody.
It reminds me of that Martin episode when he had the dog and he was interrogating everyone.
Yeah. When he took his DVD player.
You got cocaine. Hey, cocaine out there getting everybody. Domino. Hey, watch how it go. Domino. He let Domino out. Oh Lord. Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing right there, man. It's like Clash of the Titans. He done released the Kraken, and now the Kraken up there, wrecking shop. But the thing is that toughness, and this is something to think about. You got Grimes, who's a young tough defender. IQ's defense has gone up, but you got Hart, who's known for that. So everybody's gonna get better because guess what? You gotta practice against this man. So he's all it's spread, and that's what I'm saying. That's the effect. And they said, well, that's making too much out of one player. But no, one player can bring that kind of energy and make you step your game up in something else. Because we know what Hart does. He's a hard-nosed defender. He's up in everybody like a wedgie. Right. He's a pain. He's like a bad case of hemorrhoids. He's up in you. And that's what the whole team. That's what the whole team is starting to emulate. I mean, because you got a defensive-minded coach, and then you're starting to see that come throughout the whole team. I mean, iHeart wasn't playing his best today, but iHeart has been playing better.
Hey, you know what? Let me ask this, because every player is not going to have the perfect night every night. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But I want to ask Soulfinger this. Soulfinger, is this what the beginning of a championship run looks like?
I would say this is the foundation, the building block of a championship run, building a championship team. Yes. Okay. I would say that. Okay. I would say that we're a couple of pieces away, but foundationally, I think we got a good foundation. But you either need those one or two players, and I'm not even saying star or superstar. I'm not saying superstar. I think this team is getting put together, and this may sound blasphemous. People want to run me out of here with the torches or whatever else and pitchforks, but I keep thinking about that 04 Detroit team, the way this team is starting to be put together. Because granted, you didn't have superstars. You had all-stars. You had you can say a star or whatever, but I think it's more like that team, hard defense.
I disagree with you on that. And the reason why I do that is it's not because I don't understand your point, because I understand the point that you're making. And it's the same thing that Free Keith was telling me. And I told Free Keith the same thing. I don't see the 04 Pistons, because these dudes, see, the Pistons, while they didn't have a Jordan level player, they did have a bunch of all-stars.
No, true, they did.
Right.
True, they did.
I mean, you're talking about Rasheed Wallace. In Atlanta, you're talking about. I mean, not in what did Rasheed Wallace come? They got him from Atlanta, right?
Got him from Portland.
No, they didn't.
He played one game in Atlanta.
He played one game in Atlanta.
Okay,
and they traded him.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say they didn't get him from Portland, but you got Rasheed Wallace. You know what I'm saying? You got Ben Wallace. You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest defensive centers of all time.
Tayshaun Prince.
You got Tayshaun Prince. You got
Chauncey
Richard
Billups.
Hamilton. You got Richard Hamilton. You know what I'm saying? So Wallace, I understand the Pistons' theory of putting together a championship contender without having a megastar. Man, three of them dudes were really, really good.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, she was my guy.
Yeah, right.
And to keep it real, Pistons had probably a top 3 defense of all time, like in NBA history.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And
they all were cast-offs with something to prove.
But see,
exactly.
this is my thing. And the reason I'm saying I'm looking at them like that,
either cast-offs or players with something to prove at the Wizards.
Yeah, they had something to prove. But the thing is, I'm looking at them like that because of one. You can't along that line. It's they're using the blueprint. Those type players. With the difference what they have between our guys, some of our guys, our young players are players that let's be honest, people didn't think they were going to be they won't amount to nothing.
But we don't have a Tayshaun Prince.
We don't, not
right?
yet. Notice, we don't have all the pieces just
and
yet.
We don't have a Richard Hamilton, and furthermore, we don't have a coach that coached 5 or 6 all-time greats. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like remember Larry Brown coached David Robinson. Larry Brown coached Rod Strickland. Larry Brown coached Allen Iverson. All of these things even before he got to Detroit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand the 04 Pistons thing. My thing is I think this team is closer to their rival at the time, the Indiana Pacers. Mm-hmm. Right? A power forward that was 20 and 10, right? A point guard that could get you buckets in bunches, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Wing defenders that could score. They had a healthy Ron Artest was getting MVP votes. Mm-hmm. So while we don't have that Ron Artest type player, but when you look at the depth of that team, like the depth of this team. You know what I'm saying? I think they had do y'all remember Jonathan Bender?
Yep, Jonathan Bender.
For all those injuries.
One for them knees.
Yeah.
One for them knees.
Obi.
He was a Knick.
Yeah, I remember. Y'all remember when the Pacers had Obi? Jonathan Bender. That's what. That's the only reason why I say that because while I do agree with the Ben Wallace part, right? But Chauncey Billups was a top 10 pick. You know what I'm saying? That didn't pan out in Boston. They traded him to Toronto and all these different, you know what I'm saying?
Rashid.
Yeah, they have Rashid. Rashid was a top 10 pick. You know what I'm saying? I think Richard Hamilton was a top 10 pick.
Yep.
I think Tayshaun Prince was top 20. I think Tayshaun Prince was what,
something
22?
like that. He was top 20.
Yeah. Ben Wallace was undrafted in that 96 draft. You know what I'm saying? So
his first highlight was getting dunked on by Kobe in Summer League.
Yeah,
that was his first highlight.
And so that's the only reason why I disagree with the 04 Pistons thing. It's not because I don't see a similarity. I just think that there are a lot more differences in that team than it is. See,
they had different talent. They had different talent and the things, but. That's a blueprint. We're following a blueprint if you look at the style, the type of player. So I guess I should say it more or less that way. But I see more of the 04 Pistons blueprint.
At least compared to how every other team is running with two, like the ideal build is 2 straight up superstars. And
exactly. They right there. Yeah.
That's what the mold is right now compared to the build of other teams. Like if we're being relatively honest, outside of the 04 Pistons and like one of those Hakeem teams and one of the Dirk teams, outside of those teams, there's only been but so many championships with just one superstar on it, if at all, or none.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm still thinking we're more comparable to that Pacers team of that era. You know what I'm saying? That had
I can see that
with Aaron McKee,
Jackson, Steven Jackson's, Ron Artest,
Steven Jackson.
So the Reggie Millers, the Jermaine O'Neal.
Talking about a bunch of young wings and some infusion of vets at the same time.
Tinsley, Kenny Anderson,
that Pacers team.
Yeah. Austin Crochet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think that's probably more comparable to where we are. And then plus the head coach of that team, I think was Rick Carlisle. Imagine
Rick Carlisle. Yeah.
Another dude that's kind of like,
who actually won a ring when he went to Dallas.
Yeah.
The one, with that squad.
With just one superstar. Well, at the time, one superstar, but they had a bunch of older
he had kids.
veterans that
He
had
had kids.
prominence.
Well,
Yeah, but he was old
yeah.
at that time.
He was old. He was on the other. He was He was an old. He went from being a superstar down to being an old star.
if that and like if we keep it in a butt, Dirk's like second scorer was Jason Terry.
Yeah, the Jet. Yeah,
Like on
yeah,
paper, nobody saw them making that run in the playoffs. Like
yeah.
who they went
Nobody saw
through.
that.
They went through the Lakers, destroyed the Lakers, went through that young OKC team that was up and coming. Who else did they beat before they got to the finals? Because I know they went through the Lakers in the first round, went through OKC. Was it the Spurs? No, it wasn't the Spurs.
No, they
Portland.
knocked
They beat
off
Portland in the first round.
they knocked off the MVP Steve Nash Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, they
You
did.
don't remember that? Yes.
Oh yeah,
they
they
did.
did.
Yes.
They
Wow.
did.
Yes, I'm in here trying to grab a thing, and I can't believe y'all forgot that, bro. That was
I forgot.
that was like entertainment. That was like a storyline. Yeah, that was a storyline. Remember, Steve Nash had played with the Suns. Played with the Mavs, and then he played his friend Dirk in the. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
Y'all
it was
remember that?
it flipped. Yeah, because it was making a big deal. They made a big deal because of Nash going against his old team. And the fact that Jason Kidd was back with the team that drafted him, going against the guy that took over after him, and Kidd beat Nash.
Yeah, and remember, Michael Finley had flip teams too.
Yep, Michael Finley.
You remember Michael Finley?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Freezie, no. In 2011, they beat the Trailblazers in the first round. Then they beat then they swept the Lakers 4-0.
Yeah,
then they beat OKC.
Did. Then they beat OKC. A young OKC.
Yeah, baby OKC.
Yeah, that's right. Because OKC beat them, went to the finals a year later, right?
Right, the next year. Yeah.
You're right.
The next year when
they
went 0-2. I was gonna say they went 0-2 against the Spurs, and then Harden broke out and went crazy. And then they beat the Spurs, and then they went to the finals. But yeah, that was the year. But before that, you talking about 2007, I believe. That not 2007, 2006 when they went to the finals. That's against the Heat. That Dwayne Wade finals. Dwayne Wade and Shaq. That's what I believe you're talking about.
But no, I tell you this, I do like the way we track it though. Like I said, put it in the crock pot. I mean, really, right now, just put it in a crock pot, man. That's all you got to do is put it in a crock pot. I've said my part to be critical, but
like you can slow cook it, and with how our acquisitions, how our signings, how our cap, how our picks are looking. Wouldn't be surprising if we turn into a bona fide contender next season.
Well,
just off of one move.
And the other thing is the playoffs to dictate which way we're gonna go. You'll see what we need to, what else we need. Because right now it's kind of, you got cats already just all over talking about, well, we need to go get this and we need to go get that. How about we do this, man? Let the crock pot continue to cook. Food ain't ready yet.
The game will tell you what you need.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Because I can't see, because I was sitting there thinking, well, what move can we make? What move can, other than saying, well, we need to bring in a small forward, long athletic wing. But the thing about it is what long athletic wing?
Which one?
And then you can't just start throwing out big names. Oh, we need to go get this or go get that. You got to look at how the team plays and is this individual going to be a good fit? Just because he's a big name. I know you got some like, man, Luka gonna want to leave Dallas. He gonna want to come to New York. Well, the thing is you got people that saying that. You got others are saying, look out for Cat or look out for whatever else. Does Tibbs want him? Will this person fit Tibbs' style of play? Does he want him? I think after this season, after what happened last season, we made moves, brought players in that Tibbs didn't want, and it didn't work out. And then you add he granted, yeah, he did get fired at Minnesota, but he was jumping up and down on tables, flipping tables and throwing chairs to get Hart. Now he got Hart, and it's like he's looking at him like, see, if I tell you this flea can pull this cart, you better hook him up and get out of the way. Listen to what I'm telling you.
Yeah. Let me throw another narrative in the water too, just to get y'all, just to get a rock in y'all craw, right? Today Brian Windhorst said,
"Oh, I already know what you about to say, Freeze." Yeah, I saw that. Go ahead.
Today Brian Windhorst said, "I know I've been wrong the last 2 years, but I'm telling you, I can promise you that a disgruntled star is gonna wanna come to the Knicks."
Come to the Knicks. Yep,
Okay.
He sure did. He went in. He said that, and shout out to Monica McNutt for going in on Stephen A. Shout out.
Yeah.
I saw that as well this morning. Didn't give him a pass at all.
Yeah.
Because Stephen A usually just gets away with saying anything.
Right.
And she had his feet on fire.
And that's a great addition to the ESPN nuts over there, Monica. At least we got somebody in the house who's going to defend the Knicks.
Right.
But she knows the game, though. He knows the game of ball. But Wendy's been saying that for 2 years, and
this is the third season this is the third year, Soulfinger, that he, when the Knicks make a stride, that he interjects himself into the Knicks universe by saying something utterly random and ridiculous, only to have his name associated with the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Donovan Mitchell did want to come here, so if that counts. But I mean, that anybody could tell with the moves that Danny Ainge was doing that he wanted to move on and just start over from scratch over there. So.
Yo, somebody got something in the background, man.
If you ain't got headphones on, put them on.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, Sophie.
Oh no, I'm just saying. You know that whole thing with Danny Ainge. He was gonna try to do us in anyway. He's gonna try. I mean, that's just what it is. And we can't get I wasn't too much. I wasn't. Would I like to have Donovan? Yeah, but was I tripping about Donovan not coming because of who we were dealing with? No, because you got to look. Danny Ainge was trying to rake us over the coals.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be nice about what I'm saying. But
Sophie, that's his job, though. The job of the 29 other GMs is not to make the Knicks better.
Exactly, it's to take away to make me better. It's the saying, one for me is like one for you, one for me. And that's what he was trying to get. So, I mean, that's the whole thing. It depends on what you want to do. Leon stood pat, and it looks like he made the right decision. I wasn't tripping about it. The only thing I was upset about was the draft. That was the only thing I was kind of upset about.
I was tripping about that too.
That was that, and just go. I know some people love some Trevor Kills. I think Trevor Kills gonna be.
He's getting valuable experience on that bench right now.
I mean, he may be the next. What's our man that's in Dallas now? Having a senior moment.
Is he an older player or a current player?
No, this current player. He in Dallas.
Reggie Bullock?
He was our best cheerleader.
Theo Pinson?
Theo Pinson. Yeah, he may move into Theo Pinson's.
Theo Pinson was an assistant coach, man.
Yeah.
But now, people saying that he's doing good down in the G League or whatever. But then, they brought him up along with Daquan Jeffries. So, I want to see if Daquan going to be able to contribute because he looked decent in summer league, but,
Okay. Well, what I would say ultimately about the Windhorst thing is, the Knicks are impressing people when people force their way into the Knicks conversation.
Yeah.
When for most of the season, the Knicks to them are an afterthought
or a laughing stock.
Yeah.
A
And
punchline.
and guys like us, and you guys in the chat too. You guys are committed to this thing we call Knicks Universe. And when people force their way into Knicks Universe, you know that they respect our hustle. You know what I'm saying? When you see Spike Lee in a car doing an interview with Stephen A. Smith during the summer, they joking, the front office is hey man, I get it. And I don't doubt either of their fandom. I don't do that. If you say you're a fan, bro, hey, be a fan the way you want to be a fan. Right? But when others force their way into Knicks Universe, like Windhorse, like Bill Simmons, kinda. Bill Simmons does it in a journalistic, podcasty way.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll cover the Knicks and he'll have some good points and data. Like Bill Simmons spoke to the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to the Knicks thing one time. And I think that was good. That was excellent from a basketball historian standpoint, like myself, and like Anthony D, who does the old school Knicks Sunday mornings at 11. The basketball historian piece that was nice. But when the Johnny come latelys force their way into the Knicks universe just so they can give Corey Lee and Soulfinger Knicks content, I don't trust that. Soulfinger can do that on his own, and he do a good job at it.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, Freezie. Even with Bill Simmons, he still has snide remarks and sends jabs at the Knicks because it's the inner Celtic in him.
He couldn't help it. He just couldn't help it.
He wasn't necessarily the highest on the Jalen Brunson signing. He was like, it's not really gonna do much for us. He said that on his podcast. So it's one of those things where he has his preconceived notions and biases too. Even if he's very knowledgeable, even not some of the most knowledgeable people have biases as well. So they'll conjure up data to back up whatever point they want it to.
Right.
But to the man.
Yo, Ron Cleveland is in the building. Yo, what ultimately what I'm saying about Bill Simmons though is not that he needs Knicks Universe.
Oh, right.
What I'm getting at is Brian Windhorst needs Knicks Universe in order to stay relevant.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Bill Simmons is going to be relevant regardless.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Windhorst, he was a made man because of LeBron. So now he's looking around now like, I need to find something else to butter my bread.
I got to hitch my bandwagon to something who's hot. You know what I'm saying? It's like making you a rapper trying to make a song with Iggy Azalea. Really? You gonna let Iggy Azalea? You gonna do a feature with Iggy Azalea because it was hot? What was that? What was the joint she had? It was like 7 to 8 years ago. She had a joint so hot, bro. You couldn't go nowhere
without somebody playing it. Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Is that like I trust what Monica says. Monica, if you watching your people watching, man, I trust you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I trust Monica. I don't trust Greenie, not our Greenie, but you know what Greenie I'm talking about, Greenberg.
Yeah,
Greenberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust Greenberg. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what? And I don't really watch ESPN, but I just been kind of curious to see what was being said. And I really want, after the weekend we had, let me see what he's talking about. And it went, and then see Monica on there. I got all happy and stuff. I was like,
that's our girl.
Hercules. Yeah, like Hercules. So, and she got to talking, she kept it, she keep it a buck. And the thing is, she knows the game.
Right.
It's not just about the Knicks, but
people
she
forget
knows
about
the
her
game.
at Georgetown point guard. Monica McNutt. Ron Cleveland in the building says, "I'm so fancy." I don't know what that means, but okay, Ron. I know it's late at night.
It's the name.
That's the name of the song.
Oh, the song, yeah, bro. Oh, okay. All right, I was lost there for a second. Soulfinger, I borrowed one of your blonde moments. I mean, so
Hey,
it's one
tell
of
you,
your season,
it was one of those senior
moments. I'm
moments.
sorry. Yeah.
Hey, see, hey, I'm telling you, hey, hit that 50, man. You just having a hard time remembering stuff, man. If you have them moments,
Yeah, man.
I may have to update my AARP.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Stop
man. But and so if you're a Knicks fan right now, what I'm saying, man, is in this moment right now, man, you should be proud. Now, don't pound your chest, but just be proud, be humble and proud at the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are on the NBA radar. You know what I'm saying? What I would say is because I know a lot of people out there have hot takes, like about RJ Barrett, about Tibbs, about the front office. And what I'm saying is to them is keep those. That's your opinion, right? And I'm not begrudging you on your opinions and stuff, but man, at least partially enjoy the moment.
Freeze. Remember before we had a lot of people saying we weren't gonna win over 23 wins, or this team barely gonna get over 30. You heard all kinds of stuff, man. I'm still staying on it. I said it with my chest, and I'm saying it with my shirt open, with my chest out, and the taco meat exposed. That we're gonna. I said low end between 40, about 43 to 45. High end would be about 48 wins. There's a possibility we're going to eclipse that, but I'm still sticking with 48 wins.
Okay.
I'm still going to stick with my 48 wins. I'm saying it with the taco meat out, but my thing is,
taco meat.
Yeah, man, the taco meat out, man. The cats used to wear them shirts in the 70s, taco meat all exposed.
Right.
The Isley brothers, man, but they used to wear heels.
I'm thinking more or less like Isaac Hayes. I'm coming out like Isaac Hayes.
Yeah, like Isaac Hayes.
I'm not.
Turner.
Yeah, because I'm not about to disparage the Isley brothers.
Some Tyrone Davis.
Even if they dress like that, they was come slice you up with a switchblade if you said
yeah, but
wrong.
no, that was the thing around that time, man. I mean, even the Barcades had some stuff.
Platforms, that's what they called them. My fault. Platforms.
Yeah, had the platforms, the elephant legs, and the elephant collar.
Finger. Anybody remember that song by the Barcade, Soul Finger? Nobody remember that? Is it just me?
No, hey, I know that.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so ultimately, like when I watched the game tonight, my main thing had been the whole time.
Rock Cleveland with the link. My bad, Freezie.
No, I got him. I took care of him.
Okay,
I got him.
All right.
But ultimately, what I wanted to do is just have a good showing against Boston, and then have a good showing against Brooklyn, and then Friday night is it Friday night or Thursday night? One of those nights. Have a good night. Have a good Friday in Miami. Have a good showing against Miami, and for this reason, and this reason alone, it's not often you get 3 of your biggest rivals in the same week.
Yes,
right. And so going 2 out of 3 in this week against 3 of our historic rivals is not a bad thing. Now, do we want all 3? Of course we do. We're Knicks fans. We're sports fans in general. So we want to win all 3, right? But if we get 2 out of 3 and make a respectable showing, I can live with that. Do I want to win all 3? Yes, because for multiple reasons. For one, I want to keep the win streak alive. Right. 2, who don't want to beat up on a rival
and send a message?
Right. It's like, you remember in high school when the week you play your rival in football or basketball, like they come into your gym. You know what I'm saying? you know what I'm saying, you want to beat them not because of what they records say or whoever on the roster. It's about the name on the front of that jersey.
From that jersey, yeah, man. It's your
just
bragging rights.
That just
It's
do something to you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Put some respect. Hey, put some respect on that name.
Yeah,
for
man.
sure.
Yeah, man. That's basically what it is. My feeling, and what I'm saying to Knicks fans in general is you know, say if we beat Brooklyn and we lose to Miami, will we be disappointed that we lost to Miami? Sure, right? But we don't want to burn down the town.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if we lose to Miami, when you look back during the week, man, shoot, we beat Boston and Brooklyn.
And that's what you got to look at. You know, like I said, take it a game at a time. And also look at the season as a whole. Let's take a look at the season as it's gone. We've won games that we look at the things we've done. We beat Brooklyn. Many would say, well, you did it with they didn't have KD or Kyrie. But even when we did have KD and Kyrie, they were beating us. So we beat them. We beat Denver. When was the last time? You know the last time we beat Denver?
Oh man, in Denver?
Yeah,
it had to be the 80s.
Man, I think Alex English was still playing.
Right.
You know, and then
who's a very nice guy too, by the way. I met him at a Wendy's franchisee thing, and me, him, and a dude named Tom Hammonds. Also, he played power forward at Georgia Tech. I don't know if y'all remember that Washington Wizards team that had Ben Wallace, Jawan Howard, Chris Webber,
Howard,
and all of them on it. You know who else was on that team? Tom Hammonds. Tom Hammonds was also on that team. So shout out to Tom Hammonds, man. Wherever you at, you know, I wish you the best. Thank you for all the great advice. Alex English, a really nice person, had like brief passing conversations with him. Really smart businessman. You know, Gamecock. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Alex English. That was years ago too, by the way. But but every time I hear his name, I think about how nice of a dude that dude is. You never know how to, bro. Do y'all know how tall, man? 6'8". Do y'all know how tall a human being you got to be 6'8", bro?
Man.
Oh yes, I got a nephew that's tall.
But, hey, it's like when I ran into the Iceman out here in Dago on my birthday one night. We were going out to eat, and the Iceman was at the casino, and he was cool. He even let me, you know, I even got a picture with him, man.
Yeah,
so
man.
You know, and you know, I look those hands, man. He got, man, them hands big, bro.
Oh yes, sir.
he got in my mind. He got the greatest. He's got the greatest basketball poster ever.
And I got that on my phone. As my phone.
The
my
Iceman
screensaver.
cometh. I got it over here. The Iceman cometh is the greatest. And I know people say the "Come Fly with Me" poster. Yeah, the Jordan "Come Fly with Me," the Chicago.
You see that Iceman come? Hey,
yeah, the Iceman cometh was dope. That was
dope. Sitting on that block of ice with his legs crossed. You crazy?
With the two balls.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Y'all need to stop.
Yeah, man. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, man. I didn't mean to digress. It's just, you know, when you think about like certain NBA players, some people are so nice and genuine human beings that you want to kind of give them their kudos. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to give Alex English his kudos because, you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna get into man. Alex English is and very smart and very family oriented, man. That dude, he probably, I don't know if he'll remember me or not, but he left an impression. He left an impression on me. So, you know, kind of how to do things the right way and how to treat people. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man. Yeah, man.
But this has been a really good. This has been a good year, and just ride with it. And like I said it's gonna be like a roller coaster ride, up and down, have ups and downs. Right now we just going to the top. We haven't, you know, we already took that dip on the roller coaster. Now we on our way back up. So, you know, just like I said, let's treat everything like a crock pot, one game at a time. Even the building of this right now, because that's where I'm at now. Because I like what we're seeing. And I was talking to Ron, our man Ron Cleveland, and I said something about Josh Hart before, but I was like, no, man, it's his height. You know, we need to get longer. I like him, but we need more height, man. Okay, I was wrong. Wronger than four left shoes.
It happens, bro. That nobody. That's one of the things that I want to state to y'all too, man. And it's the reason why I like doing the platform is because nobody is going to be correct 100% of the time. Nobody's going to be that, right?
Yep.
The thing about having these conversations though is in the moment you gather the information that you have and you bring it to the table, and then if somebody proves you wrong, it takes a G to admit that you was wrong. You're like, yo, I was speaking on the based off the information that I had. You know what I'm saying? He showed me something different. So instead of doubling down, the mature thing is to, you know what I'm saying, acquiesce to whatever the most recent and correct information is. That's my stance on it.
And I agree with you, Freeze, because like you said, you get new information, it should change your mind. It's like if you know,
it's called growth.
Yeah, because if you introduce new information, you're gonna learn to do different things or think a totally different way that'll help you out. Right. And my whole thing is I was stuck on, and I still believe I would still like to see and believe we could use that long athletic wing. We're gonna need it. Looking at the teams, no matter how bad Toronto may play at times, they still give us trouble because of that length.
So let me get into that length conversation, right? Because I heard I was watching B-ball breakdown on YouTube or Hoop Vision, one of them. I like to watch video on offenses and defenses. I love it. Like when I'm in here, like working on some stuff, like production stuff. I'm always working on 1,000 different things, and what I need to do is narrow it down to like 2 or 3.
I know you're talking about free. You're talking about free. Your lad, but you come from free. But I think you Brown because you work harder than James Brown.
James Brown, bam, right? And second of all, where's Ron Cleveland at? How you gonna ask for the link and not show up? You know what I'm saying? Where Ron Cleveland at? Last thing I saw from him, he said, "I'm so fancy." Where Ron Cleveland at?
Yeah, he put in there. He was in there. He's still in the chat, I thought.
What I was gonna say to you is this whole finger. I saw Tom Thibodeau, a snippet from Tibbs, about 20 years ago, right? And what happened is they were talking to Tibbs about the NBA eliminating illegal defense. Right. And they were like, yo, eliminating NBA defense, and just hit me out on this. Right. So he was like, yo, with the eliminating of the illegal defenses, now we can load the defense up, basically put up a wall and run a blitzkrieg to the ball and force the ball to one side of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
We know that now by a name. Right. And when teams run the pick and roll, you basically ice the pick and roll. Is basically where you force the offense to one side of the floor and make them make a pinpoint pass to a guy on the other side of the floor, and that's how you beat it. And Tibbs said even then, Tibbs said it right then in that same interview. If teams can execute those pinpoint passes, then the downfall of the ice pick and roll defense is the 3-point ball. He said it right then. This is like 20 years ago, right? But he also said back then when there was an illegal defense, you could run 6'8", 6'9" small forwards then who were basically power forwards playing the small forward position. But now that the illegal defense is gone away, now those guys are going to be power forwards and maybe even small ball centers. And this is what Tibbs said 20 years ago. There'll be small ball centers even. And the NBA is going to get smaller and smaller because you're going to depend less on height and strength and more on quickness, agility, and other stuff. With that said, do you believe Tom Thibodeau still believes this? And do you think he is innovating? Do you think he's ahead of, or do you believe that he believes he's ahead of the curve by getting 6'4" guards that can play the 2, 3, and 4?
You know, it's funny you said that, Freeze, the way you broke it down, because Alawaz said something about similar to that. Shout out to my man Alawaz. He said
Shout out to
that.
Alawan.
Yeah, he was breaking it down. If you look at it, Tibbs likes to run a 3 guard set
Right.
in a lot of ways. And you know, and then too, if you look at his teams, he has had success with smaller guards.
Right.
So, you know, and it's a possibility when you break it down and look at it like that and present that kind of information, then yeah, he's
It
slipping.
it
He's
it
trying to get ahead.
it makes sense in this respect because the way Tibbs views the game is he views it that it's majority pick and roll type league, and what's best to contain a pick and roll is the guy that's 6'5", 6'4", that can scamper
Right.
over picks over and over and over
Over
relentlessly.
and over and switch and peel off
Right.
and get other guys Dre, not to cut you, but I want to just insert two things real quick.
Right.
A few years ago, we had a backcourt rotation of Tim Hardaway Jr., Damian Dotson. What's the big point guard we got from Denver?
Manuel
Moutier.
Mudiay.
Moutier. We got Moutier. We had Moutier and Frank Ntilikina and Mario Hazonia and Trey Burke.
Right.
Or something along. And what happened is in
Don't
the
forget
ice pick and
Alonzo
roll,
Trier. My fault.
and Trier and yeah, right. And so what happened is even when you ran the ice pick and roll with those guys, what would happen is those guards would get smashed on screens and it would just obliterate the total team defense. It'll get your rotations out of whack. But under Tibbs, what Tibbs would do if you get smashed on the screen, there's no harm in that, right? The harm in it, the crime in it is when you die on the screen. You get screened and it really takes you out of the play for the rest of the possession. And so what Tibbs said, listen, when you get hit on the screen, peel off and go to the next closest offensive player, and the defense behind you will adjust and rotate. Now, will it lead to open threes away from the ball? Yes, because you got to give the offensive coach credit too. In a game of chess, it's not just 16 pieces on your side against a blank chessboard. It's 16 versus 16. In chess, right? And for those keeping track, the video that I saw is a video called One Pass Away. It's the one pass away defense. It's a video breakdown, right? And so what I want to say to Dre is, boss, when it comes to Tibbs or that defense alone, and speaking basically to what Soulfinger said about small wing players, like he believes that you need long wing players to thrive in the NBA today. And what I'm asking Soulfinger basically is, do you believe that this organization is on the cusp of innovation?
You asking him or me?
I'm asking both of y'all. I'm asking Soulfinger because of his point, but I'm asking you too because I know you know like tactically on the floor basketball. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not too sure if I'll say we're like I don't know, because the way the league has been like going, power forwards are getting smaller, small forwards are getting bigger, centers are getting smaller because they're trying to fit this mesh of
point guards are getting bigger.
They're trying to get into this mesh of this 6'6" to 6'9" guy that can do everything. But when it comes down to it, the skill guys still need picks. They still need to run pick and roll actions in order to get a mismatch or some sort of action heading downhill to present a threat to go downhill to create spacing for the shooters. And maybe we are, but until it wins a championship, I can't say that it'll. You can't say that it'll. You can, like It's like how teams thought the Warriors would never win a championship with how they played until they did it, and
Jump
now
shooting. Jump
yeah,
shooting.
yeah, and then it took that sort of thing to happen for teams to
Let me
take
let me
note
let me let me
and
clear, let
copy.
me clear, let me clear that up too. Let me put that in the washer too. The offense that the Golden State Warriors ran is a combination of San Antonio and Chicago, right? It's the Euro 1-4 motion, right? That when it gets bogged down, they do triangle actions out of it, right?
Mhm.
The only thing though is when San Antonio ran it, San Antonio had everything going towards the rim. Everything going towards the rim, like Tony Parker going towards the rim, Manu going towards the rim. And the thing is how we know it was innovative is, for one, you heard two terms you had never heard in your life, right? From Manu Ginobili, it's the first time you heard the word Euro step, right? When you heard Euros, you was like, Euro, Manu is doing a Euro. He not even from Europe, but
Right,
it's something he got, you know what I'm saying?
playing
You know,
over there.
learn. Yeah. And then Tony Parker led the NBA in points in the paint at the point guard position.
Right.
The point guard led the NBA in points in the paint. And that's something you had never heard of before, because we were coming out of Shaq and them and Tim Duncan and them were getting old. So we were coming out of the big man era of that, right?
Right.
And the third thing out of the San Antonio thing was corner three,
Mm-hmm.
right? The corner three wasn't even a big thing until San Antonio. It was like, yo, how come we don't ever see Bruce Bowen handling the ball? Well, he's in the corner, stretching the offense horizontally, so Ginobili can drive to the basket.
And
You know what I'm saying?
and I was gonna say, like, the precursor to the whole full point forward type thing was Boris Diaw in terms of
Boris
that
D.
offense. And
Yep.
then Draymond took that role and put it on steroids.
Yeah, and part of that too. I want to give Paul Pressey some credit from the Milwaukee Bucks
Right.
too. But understand where you're going. But my point is, Golden State took that San Antonio offense that was all going towards the rim and took the
Hmm.
DL part, and they did it from a jump shooter's aspect, right? And
Right.
that's why Charles Barkley said they'll never win a championship. You know what I'm saying?
Shooting
Jump
jump
Because
shooting
it was
shots all the
something
because
he
time.
never
Yeah.
seen before.
Yeah. Nobody
right.
seen it before, and it was new. Yeah.
And because he, an all-time great, even at his best jump shooting years, he was not even close
I think he was like
to
the
Steph
worst
Curry.
3-point shooter in NBA history for his volume. That's what
Probably.
literally that's what Charles Barkley is.
Yeah,
And
probably.
he was so used to the game being inside out instead of outside in,
Right.
and it worked his mind because he's so used to, even because he was a power forward and he wasn't even a big power forward, he still
Right.
had to operate inside out. And
Right.
that's how the game operated
And
from the
guys
60s,
250.
70s, 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
guys 250 and up, like Barkley, and guys 250 and up, generally can't shoot. And
Yeah.
it's nothing, and it has nothing to do with um you know, shot form, and it's one of those basic facts. It's like
Just is what it is.
yeah, it's like tall tennis players basically are never going to be quick twitch. They're going to be long hitters. You know what I'm saying? Power
They
guys
have to be
like John
long and
Isner.
fluid. They have to just be
Yeah,
fluid and
yeah.
float to where they need to get to. So
The
they have
difference
to be,
between Sampras and
yeah,
Agassi.
yeah, like you have to be, like, you have to have a lot of anticipation. You have to
Right,
think ahead of the serve every time to get to where you need to get to. But
right.
but also when you're bigger, you have more power in your serve and all these
And
other
more
things.
leverage.
So
Yeah, you have more
yeah,
leverage because you have longer levers. Yeah,
yeah,
longer legs, longer arms. But
right.
Soulfinger. So what are you thinking? Are you thinking the Tibbs is gonna be? You think Tibbs is innovating right now, or do you think maybe he's just stuck in a rut where he just thinks what he does works and can't adjust?
See, now that's where we go to with me and how I felt about Tibbs, saying he can't adjust or he's stuck in a rut, but then he's also proven me wrong with that one in some ways. I would say a little bit of yes and no.
Okay.
And I don't, and I know you're looking for more of a definitive.
It sounds like he dodging the question.
Oh
Yeah,
no! I told you I get hey man, I got my elephant collar open with my taco meat out. I told you that. So the reason I say no is because he has the type players he likes. If he didn't want all those players, we still wouldn't have RJ to be playing it. You would have a small forward at that size.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Because RJ's with 6'6".
Right.
So if he's going to go all innovative like that, then he would have gone and stuck with more, even though you brought in a 6'4", 6'5" Josh Hart, and you do have Quentin Grimes that is listed at 6'5".
And they drafted Trevor Kills.
And you drafted Trevor Kills, who's 6'4".
And they brought up DeQuan Jeffries. Yeah.
Yeah. So DeQuan Jeffries, what, 6'5"?
Yeah. They all had a similar body type, 6'4".
You got the same, similar body type.
And so, stout.
My thing too is also with them is you using them as I'm looking at some of those guys to be trade this is trade fodder. Add them in to show up some money. Okay. But I think because he had Lou Alding was how tall was Lou Alding? 6'4", 6'7",
6'8", 6'9",
6'8", something like that.
I thought he was 6'7". He was 6'9".
Yeah, he was
like 6'7", 6'9".
Yeah, 6'7".
He was like the center of power forward of Duke.
I know he was 6'7", but he had super long arms, which helped him.
Yeah.
And I was gonna liken what Tibbs is doing. It's like in the NFL, teams have been trying to draft larger cornerbacks, but there's nothing wrong with the 5'9", 5'10" quarterback because they have so much agility and ability to change direction and blanket the play, where they might not be able to cover you vertically, but all that underneath stuff is gone.
Yeah,
you're not even going to get to the point so that you're going to get the over the top stuff. So he's trying to make it so we have these smaller, more agile guards blowing up plays on the perimeter before you even get enough momentum to go downhill to even affect. Like, we're basically slowing perimeter guys down to give Mitch a chance to come over to be the help if they were to get to the rim. And that's his whole principle on defense. It's like, we know we have Mitch back there. All we have to do is blanket the perimeter, force them to go into the paint, albeit not a straight shot to the paint. But if they go to the paint, there's going to be resistance on the perimeter, and then that'll give Mitch an extra step to get over, and then that'll deter teams. And then we already have our preset rotations, so they're going to try the drive and kick, like the Celtics did try tonight. But we blanketed that because we already had our preset rotations based off of us knowing that we're going to funnel you into Mitchell Robinson, and Mitchell Robinson is going to deter you, which is why teams shoot so many threes against us, but they don't shoot threes at a high percentage against us.
Right.
We're basically putting teams like a rock meets a hard place at this point. Okay. So sometimes we run into nights where teams are just hitting contested threes. Like we ran into the Nets one time earlier this year, I believe, and they were
hitting threes. Everybody was hitting threes. Left and right, they just went uncomfortable.
And there was nothing wrong with our defensive principles. Like we were doing what we've been doing, albeit if Mitch was there or not. They just were making shots. But the way Tibbs outruns his ship is, we're going to take away the immediate 3-point action. We're going to make sure if you're going to get a 3 off, it's going to be off of 3-4 passes, and we're going to try to have the rotations right. Now, when teams get the 3 off of like 1 or 2 passes, that means there was a defensive breakdown on our part.
Right.
Something went wrong. You need to make 3 or 4 passes to get a 3 off of Tibbs defense.
Okay. Well, and the other thing too is you look at it like this. We're talking about how you're looking at. You said 20 years ago he looked at that, right, Free?
Hold on for a second. You mean
What was that?
20
tweet?
years? He looked at the clip of Tom Thibodeau is from 20 years ago.
20
Okay.
years ago, yeah. The clip
Yeah,
was 20.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
But 20 years ago, you didn't have bigs, long athletic guys like you have today. Because
Okay.
the bigs then were Clyden, with the exception of because people were looking at Shaq, because Shaq didn't move like the typical big that you used to seeing. He was
Right.
agile to be that size.
But Shaq was also getting roasted in the pick and roll.
He was.
roasted.
He was, because Akeem let us
the
know
pick and
what
roll.
time it was on that one.
Yeah, he was getting, and mind you, the era that we're talking about, Shaq was probably about 32, 33 years old, probably about 350.
Well,
at
that, and he
and teams weren't extending the pick and roll that far out compared to now.
Yeah.
So
now, nowadays you wouldn't be able to play Shaq because he don't shoot free throws, he don't shoot threes, and if he don't and if he don't get the ball down deep, teams don't have the patience for a big to operate down, 6-7 feet and in. So even Joel Embiid catches the ball about 15 feet away and then operates from there.
He would have to lose weight in order to play in this iteration of the NBA.
He had to get
They would try to make him. They would turn him into basically what Andre Drummond is now, but like a much better version, obviously.
Yeah, a better finisher, all-time great finisher.
But now you have these 6'7", 6'8" guys that are agile, that can move around. So it kind of like takes things, a different way. And then you, like you said, you got these 6'9", you like these long, quick,
wiry, strong.
Yeah, you're getting guys like that. So I see where he was going, but then through human evolution, if you want to go that way, it has some relevancy or validity, if you want to say that. But for the most part, he is in a way ahead of his. Back then, he was ahead of the time, because it's just like we using Golden State as an example.
Right.
Golden State. Oh, you'll never win a championship shooting jumpers. Well,
so you don't think he innovating?
In a way, he is. In a way, he is. So you
do think he's innovating?
In a way, he is, but for the most part, I think certain aspects of the game.
Yeah, like I think when it comes down to it, teams are going to take specific parts out of what Tibbs does or what he requires.
So that's the same thing Sullivan was saying.
Because if you look at like the Boston Celtics, they have a lot of 6'5" like guards.
A lot of yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the Milwaukee Bucks, they
have a lot of 6'5" to 6'6" guards, like the Pat Connaughtons and Grayson Allens and
even the Jordan Nwora, who I think they traded. They traded him.
They traded him, and they got Marjon Beauchamp, which is also like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, who they're excited about. Yeah.
So it's like it's not necessarily getting a 6'8", 6'9" guy. It's just having big guards. Period.
So I'm lost. Like, okay, so y'all said partially take parts, maybe a little bit, and then y'all just said that other teams. And not trying to sully the point. I just don't understand where y'all going with it.
I'm gonna say freely. It's like you would prefer, like the era of this iteration is like you would prefer the 6'8", 6'9" guy.
Okay.
But at the minimum, you can't have a bunch of short guys out there. Besides, unless he's as offensively gifted as Brunson, you cannot have 6'1" guys out there.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I would say years back when he was in Chicago, he started doing that. He was being innovative. Because you think about those Chicago teams, he didn't have a lot of big guards.
Right.
With all the big players he had, all that serious size he had in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So
they had weird because Tony Snell and Jimmy Butler played together. Yeah. Right. And the thing is, Jimmy Butler at 6'7" was a shooting guard, and Tony at 6'7", 230 was a shooting guard, and Tony Snell at 6'7", 215 was a small forward. But then they also ran out the Kirk Heinrichs,
CJ
the
The
Watson.
6'4", 6'5" guys.
the
Yes,
Ronnie
CJ
Brewer's,
Watsons.
the
Yeah.
CJ Watsons. Yeah, they had a lot of they had a. So my comp to it is this. Anybody in here ever had a Little Debbie cake?
Of
I
course.
love Little Debbie.
Oh yeah, but of course,
Oh my
I
God.
was a skinny fat guy at one time.
So basically the guy that
Giannis and Uncle Freezie. My fault.
Okay. All right. So Matt, the Little Debbie guy, old D McKee, he had this idea. He was trying to keep up with other he was trying to back in the day, you used to get
He
your
was trying
cakes
to keep
from
up.
you used to get your cakes from a bakery. You ain't get no cakes from off no shelf. That was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. So he came up with this idea of mini cakes, but he put them in a box, and they wouldn't sell because by the time people saw them, they was already going
Still.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so he had that idea in the 30s. He had it in the 40s. Then World War II came. The idea was still a bad idea. He had it in the 50s. This thing called Entenmann's. Anybody? Y'all ever had an? Y'all ever had an
Oh
Entenmann's ice cream?
man,
Come on, man. Come on.
Bro.
Louisiana crunch cake.
Oh my God, bro. So the coffee cake one with the little thing. Oh my God, bro.
And they even had the triple fudge cake. Oh,
and
the chocolate cake.
Remember the donuts? Remember the donuts had the chocolate coating on it? Oh my God. But anyway, so he was trying to compete with them, right? And what he did, and and this is the reason why I asked Soulfinger, because I think he had an excellent he was headed in a direction with an excellent topic. And I was trying to get there to go there with him on it. What happened is O.D. McKee in 1960, he was getting killed on the open market because nobody wanted to buy McKee's Donuts. So they changed the name of the company to Little Debbie, and then they put a picture of his granddaughter on the box. Right?
Wow.
All about repackaging and yeah.
Right. And then Soulfinger, guess what they did? That idea that he had in the 1930s, they stopped using butter, right? So that the product was spoiling. They started using vegetable oil, and the product lasted like 2 weeks longer. Now, on top of that, guess what else he did? He took the individual pies and he put them in plastic, vacuum sealed plastic in 1960. Instead of like having them rattle around in the box and all that, you know, so he put them in plastic. And what moms did now was instead of putting, you know, they started putting them in this thing called a lunchbox for little kids. And so now an idea that was an innovation in the 30s took 30 years to catch on. But when it caught on, it was a innovation forever.
Right.
And so I use that example to ask Soulfinger, that idea that Tibbs had back then. I'm gonna mute Lee for a second. All right. Hey Lee, I'm gonna mute you for just a second. So the thing is, that idea that was an innovation in the 30s that didn't catch on was an innovation in the 60s. In 2023, we see that same idea that's about 100 years old, and we still are amazed by that product. And that's one of the reasons why I was asking you about Tibbs' innovation. Like Tibbs understanding that you don't need a 6'9" power forward to play small forward anymore. Is that Tibbs trying to innovate with something that he already had in his thing mentally?
It might be something like a blueprint that he had in terms of shaping the roster, like guys that he wants to play a specific way for his scheme. So it might like just like how icing pick and roll got around the league within a few years. Tibbs' scheme
bro,
if
you
it
can't even
yields more
go to a high
success.
you can't
Yeah,
even go
like
to a high school game without seeing it, bro.
yeah,
And
I'm saying like,
let me
oh, you
bring
gonna bring G?
let me bring in Gi real quick. Yo,
Yeah.
Woo! What's going on?
GI, salute,
my
salute.
man, he know exactly what we talking about, bro.
What's
Hey,
up, bro?
hey, Gi, hey, you know what? Intimates
Well,
used to get their butt kicked too. They used to get their rum kicked too, until what happened is as boxes used to go stale, like you know what I'm saying. And what
yeah.
happened is they cut a hole in the box and put a window in the box so that you could see what you buying, and that is what took Intimates from Long Island to nationwide.
That brought me back. I used to get like the powdered donuts with
Oh,
like a quarter water.
oh my
Man,
goodness, bro.
the Celtics were softer than donuts today.
Yeah, but G Money,
Yesterday, I
what's
should
good,
say.
boss?
What's cracking, slacking, cool cats? How you doing?
Hey,
What's
man,
up, G
chilling,
Money?
man.
What's going on?
What's going on,
man?
G Money?
What's shaking and baking? And New York shaked and baked Boston on both sides of the ball, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, yo, so I don't
G.I.
know
in
if
a
y'all
good
heard.
mood. Man. You can see it all in his face.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, so I was asking before y'all showed, I asked Soulfinger if Tom Thibodeau was an innovator or a old man stuck in his ways. And oh, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, Freezie, it's kind of funny because the type of player that Tibbs like that Tibbs like the thing that's actually helped win the Warriors titles is Klay Thompson is really not 6'7". You know that, right?
No.
He's really like closer to 6'6", 6'5" outside of shoes. So that's the reason why he gets over screens so well, and the reason why he's been able to take on the number one like on ball guy for Stephen Curry over the years between him and Iguodala. And that type of defense, if you were to look at the end game defense that you see being played, a lot of it is stopping the point of attack when it's initiated with pick and roll, because that's the trigger for a lot of offenses in today's game. And it once you stifle that, or even just slow it down to the point that it allows your helper, your weak side, and your help defenders and your rim protectors to get an extra step, that's all that's necessary in terms of bringing the help all the way around and forcing teams to go to the second and third and fourth options on a play. And by the time you get to that, by the time you get to your fourth, fifth option on the play, chances are it's not going to succeed unless you have pinpoint pristine passing. And even then, the way that you see IQ like peel off and help and switch,
right?
And you see Grimes do it, and you see
And
Hart
redirect,
do it.
and redirect.
Right.
You'll see him pointing to Obi. No,
And when you see when you see all that happening,
too.
Yeah, and when you see all of that happening, all of the hedging and sometimes the switching on the backside, we see all of that happening, it's legitimately slowing down the pace of the offense to making them run at a more deliberate pace so you can see what they're about to do before they do it.
Well, let me ask you this based on what you said, based on the term hedge, and it's just educational moment now, right? So when you hedge on something, what do you recognize and why do you do it when you hedge?
Well, in some scenarios where you see Brunson might be the guy on ball, or his man might be coming up to set a screen, to force a switch, Brunson will run up and stunt and cut the ball handler off before he can gain momentum to create the switch. So to allow his initial defender to have time to get back to his man and allow
Okay.
Brunson to stay away from the play where they don't get the easy one-on-one mismatch that
So
they're
basically,
looking for.
when you say stunt, you're saying basically come out and do some false action. It's a deliberate action, but not necessarily what you want to do. You just go out there and do something crazy, like you just go out there and rake at the ball and then race back. Is that
Yeah,
what you're talking
precisely.
about?
Sometimes you
Okay.
might go out there and just jump up with your hands up in the air so they can't make the skip pass over you.
Right, and then you get back.
Right.
Okay.
All
right.
You limit their options, and when you do that, you're legitimately forcing them. Just in a stunt, you're making them skip two options because you stunt them. That stops them from getting the one-on-one they want. That stops them from making the skip pass that they want. It helps you get back to your man.
And you wasted time on the shot clock.
Exactly. So it does multiple things at one time.
Okay.
And when you do things like that, and then you have guys on the backside and on the weak side, or even on the strong side, that are redirecting the defense, it doesn't really necessarily matter what's going on as long as you stifle the offense in the moment. You stifle the offense slowly or make them deliberate in what they want to do. And once you have that with the time and the shot clock going down, it makes defense so much easier because you're almost predicting what they're going to do because you're forcing them and you're limiting their options, which is why we go so aggressive on pick and roll defense with guys like Grimes and Hart with IQ.
And you put below average defenders like Carmelo Anthony in positions where they only have to defend for maybe like 3 seconds, 4 seconds tops.
Even a split second where they just have to zone out on one side and just keep their antennas up in case the ball comes in their direction.
Yeah. Hey, G, how was good, boss?
Yeah, no, I just the question. I just didn't want. I kept raising my hand because I just was so enticed by. I enjoyed the technical piece that y'all gave, but the question was really is Tibbs an innovator or is he old school? And everything y'all talked about, while it's technically sound, it still comes back to the NBA became phenomenal when those athletes didn't learn how to stop the pick and roll. And that's basically the play that Tibbs. Listen, man to man, we gonna play up. We got Mitch, but it's that pick and roll with these great 6'9" players that causes a lot of drama. So we go and that's where that fake action, because I just can't believe the number of NBA players that just stand there and say, okay, well, here comes that pick and roll. Let me just stand here because I'm supposed to just let him pick me. And our guys, that's what you talk about. He's doing that, running up. So he's just not a lame duck, just standing there waiting for the pick. Do something different, create some different action, because then you'll force him to die quick. And Mitch, man, what Mitch does around the rim. So I think it's really old school, especially when you hear about the NBA today not playing no defense, not guys don't want to load management. And here it is. I'll shut up here. The NBA is complaining about load management, and Knicks players are complaining about Tibbs playing his guys too long. That's as old school as it gets, guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the questions, Dre and Freezie. Amazing stuff.
Yeah, man. Hey,
I was gonna. My bad, Freezie, but I was gonna say, while the effort, like putting maximum effort, is a old school thing from Tibbs. Back in the 90s and the 80s, they were not coiling a screen 30 feet away from the rim.
That.
So
right, and
when you're my fault, Freezie, but when you're studying that far out, it's unheard of. That's so much pressure that you're putting on the defense by setting the screen so far out. So when you're hedging and trapping that far out, it leaves you weak on the backside. So like guys like Draymond or like high IQ forwards.
Very pause.
My fault. I said high IQ guys. My fault. When guys like Draymond can exploit you becoming that aggressive that far away from the rim, and the idea of the coverage is old school, But the means of getting to that point is something that's like 2010 on, even later than that, 2015, 16 on, with how they're trying to guard Curry and stuff.
Right, but what I was going to add to that too is additions to the pick and roll, the banana
Right,
cut and the lob threat from the dunker spot. When
right,
you
right. Yeah,
add
yeah, yeah.
when
Yep,
you
yep,
when
yep.
you have when you your two guard comes down, touches the ball, right, gets the ball back to your point guard, runs the banana cut. Your four comes up top. He runs a banana cut from his side of the floor all the way to the opposite side corner, and the dude in the dunker spot, potentially in Obi, you have everybody on the floor in jeopardy, right? Because the guy with the ball can just shoot it, like Dre said, from like 30 feet. They generally don't, but
They
they're a
don't.
threat. They're a threat from
27, 26 feet.
yeah, they're a
From
threat
anywhere.
starting at that point, right? Whereas before, guys were not threats until about 20 feet. And then you have the off guard running a banana cut, get it, gives it back to the guard, rubs his man off of the guy coming up to set the screen. Now he's the guy in the opposite corner. You got a dude in the dunker spot. You have all these actions happening, and now the pick and roll is what everybody runs. You have dudes in the dunker spots that's not even dunkers now. You know what I'm saying? It's like
You got small forwards in the dunker spot now, just waiting for the ball.
You got cats with a credit card leak. In the dunker spot.
Because all they have to do is catch it and put it back. I saw Jokic in the dunker spot, and I laughed, right? Because
The funny part is Jokic shoots like 78% around the rim.
Right.
And he has awesome footwork too, and he has awesome footwork in the block.
Yeah.
He doesn't even tell me he has awesome footwork too.
Yeah,
He has legitimately Shaq finishing numbers around the rim, even though he can't.
Right. And this is for seasons, multiple, not just for one season, right? This is not a Nicholas Claxton type season. This is, this is dude's career, right? But ultimately, what I'm saying is, and with an offense doing all of this or the threat of all of that.
Hey, that sound, whatever that is. I think it was Soulfinger or Lee.
Soulfinger DJing up there. Soulfinger cutting up records.
Yeah, I'm on the ones and twos.
I man, Soulfinger. Hey, Soulfinger, thank you too for this conversation piece, bro. Because I was trying to ask it and not knowing like where it was gonna go, but I kind of wanted to get into the topic that you mentioned, man, to do it some credit, to do it some service. So I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, indulging like the conversation with it too, so that we can do a deep dive into it.
It's all good. A broke clock is right, twice a day. Or as I like to say, the sun will shine on the dog's backside every now and again. So
every now.
Tell me about it. I was wrong. And tell me about it. Speaking of being wrong, I was in fact wrong, but this Knicks team, man. This team plays hard every night. They dive for loose balls. They play with their feet instead of their hands. I was wrong about this Knicks team. And also, they do a good job with their baseline drive and kick, man. And also the dump passes, man. This Knicks team plays with grit every night, man. And Tibbs, he's really adapted very well. He's really adapted very well with his proper rotations, not overplaying guys like he was to start the season and even last year. And he's done a better job being more accountable. So that's what I got to say about this team, man.
So G.I., are you still feeling the same way about your 6'8" wings?
And now I'm saying we're 6'8" wing from being away from Eastern Regional, Eastern Conference contender. We might be that good. It's scary to say. Now, I got to be honest, this ISO ball with the right defenders, because what's going to happen is every team is now going to start figuring out who they got to play and start figuring out who the defenders are. So you're going to start seeing guys who have specialties on defending small guards that you haven't seen all season, if they exist. So somebody has that could really cause Brunson a problem. They got to be strong. And if somebody can cause Randle some problems, which I don't right now, Randle is just he's so strong, so fast, jumping so high. I don't know if anybody. I'm just scared. I don't want to get it. But if somebody somehow you can stop just Brunson and Randle, you're gonna kick our ass in the playoffs. No offense to RJ, but so that's what you got to be concerned with because it's a lot of ISO. It's a lot of ISO. It's a lot of starting with the ball in their hands and praying they get the ball going in the right direction. They don't turn it over, and they haven't been. They haven't been.
That's the ingredients for us. It's for well, that's Tibbs' ingredients for winning. Right now, it's to limit possessions for the other team and maximize possessions for us.
Which we have
so
done.
So while we don't shoot like an amazing percentage from the field because we don't, we're winning because it almost want to liken it. I said it before. It's like having a good running game where you can just take time of possession over, and the other team doesn't have very many possessions to even do enough scoring against you because you're dominating the glass and you're not turning
Sounds
the ball
like a
over.
Jets fan. Jets fans are trying to take over. Jets
Hey,
fans.
let me go get a snack, like Rex would say. Let's go get a snack.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I have but let me talk to Nice just real quick, man. I hadn't seen Nice in a minute. Hey, brother, how you doing?
Nice.
Pretty good. How's everybody doing?
Good.
And man, I ain't hitting on nothing, man. I got an injured knee on one leg and a high ankle sprain on the other leg, bro. It's like every time it bumps something, I could just climb them stairways. Bro, you ever had a high ankle sprain, bro?
Man, I got even something worse, compartment syndrome. So I know what you mean.
Bro.
Yeah, prayers up to you, Freeze. Prayers up to you, Freeze.
Bro, thank you, bro. I walked in here I walked in here like every time my foot hit the floor, bro, it's like like a thousand lasers just you know what I'm saying?
Or a knife stabbing at your back.
Oh, bro, at my ankle, bro, it's like that scene from 300. Like all them dudes is just like on my ankle, bro. And now, mind you, I have a blown out knee that is like weebly wobbly, like Lego blocks, like that. You ever seen that game Jenga? It's just like that. It's just like that, right? But anyways, enough about me. Nice, yeah, man. Nice. What's good, man? So you excited about where the Knicks are?
Oh man. Bro, I don't even want to cry here, but I just want to say one thing, bro. If you guys was amazed or happy of having Melo, bro, I'm gonna say it. I don't even care who's going to get mad. It's something that is still up to be watched or seen. But I'm telling you right now, Randle is better than Melo.
Oh!
I ain't doing that.
Nice.
I'm doing it.
Wow.
I'm doing it.
This season
I wanted to wait 2 more years.
No. Listen to this. Listen.
Hold on. Nice said that with his taco meat out. He don't have to turn with his taco meat.
Hey, I'm being dead serious, and let me explain why. If you watch Melo, nobody denied his talent. Nobody ever said that he's not a player that cannot make shot or create his own shot. But there was only a problem with Melo that whenever there was a guy that was open, he didn't care if people double team him. He will always try to shoot that before he even thinks about passing it. If you look at Randle game, what Randle and Brunson is doing for the team, man, I'm loving it. Because now if you want to put your best defender on Brunson, all right, it ain't no biggie. But now who's guarding Randle? And we could keep on playing this game, vice versa. But now who's guarding Brunson? If you look at the bench has something special going on. And I truly believe that the limitation right now of the bench is having RJ. As much a lot of people want to keep on saying, oh, but RJ plays better with the bench and this and that. I'm telling you right now, the bench is too fast to be playing with RJ. Wow. I'm being honest. Like At the end of the day, we could agree to disagree,
Right.
but I'm just calling for what it is because if you look at quickly, if you look at Mitch, and Mitch is not even a best player, but if you look at Mitch and you look at even Josh Hart, there's plays that they thinking about passing it to RJ and they rather not pass it. And I'm just gonna say this, and this will be the last thing. You start looking at the game differently when you seeing everybody on the court doing all the dirty plays. Even Obi is doing the dirty plays. And now when it comes to shoot, we can't pass it to RJ because he's going to try to dribble it down, not thinking about somebody else. Now he start how can I say this? He lose the ball, and now we got to go to the other end to try to block that. He ain't thinking about nobody. He just thinking about his stats.
Nice. How do you pull this out from a game we won by 15 points when Brunson played bad too?
For real, bro.
No. But listen to this. Just like I said, if you start looking at the game, all right. It has been something going on for the last 6 games. There's a lot of team watching replays after replays after replays, trying to figure out how to guard Brunson. How to guard Brunson. Now it's like one of those things that now it started to click. They not totally saying that we could vanish Brunson, but now we could limit him. So they picking up on how to guard him even better. That's why you seeing Brunson having a little bit off nights, but it's not that he's off; it's that people is guarding him better.
I've seen him have, but like, nice not to cut you off. I've seen him have better shooting performances against better defense. I just think he's off, and he's due. He's had 30 straight games of just playing at a high level. Like it's okay.
Let them start guarding Randle.
Drop 35 on Wednesday, and it wouldn't shock any of us in here.
Let them start guarding Randle the same way that they guard Brunson. I'm telling you right now. If they just lose up on Brunson, it's gonna be the same effect that you see on Randle now with Brunson. That's why I'm looking at the Knicks. It's not that we might be beating the first team in the first round. I'm telling you right now, this team right now, I'm loving it because I'm looking at semifinals to finals.
But the thing is, they doubled Randle all tonight, if you recall, and Brunson still didn't have necessarily a good game. So I wouldn't even hold that against anything. Like I just think Brunson just was off. I won't like. I've seen much better be played against Brunson, and he still dropped 40, I believe, on the Bucks or something like that.
So I'm gonna say this, Cody. But I'm gonna say this, Cody. Like at the end of the day, there's players that you can have your off nights.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. If you have a night that you have an off night, but your whole team is contributing in other ways, man. If you look at Jay Hart, if you look at Emmanuel Quickly, if you look at that squad, I'm telling you, it's looking fantastic. Because right now, this whole team, bro, is so dangerous. And I'm looking at this team problematic because if you have a superstar, you got to keep it up for 48 minutes. 48. It doesn't even matter. Back then, we had Grimes. So if you had a game like tonight with only Grimes, you had Grimes on Tatum. But there will be moments that, all right, we got to sit down Grimes, and Tatum could capitalize for 5 or 6 minutes without Grimes. But now it's like, all right, Grimes, you a little bit tired, no problem. Sit down. J Hart, go guard him.
We have legitimately at the guard spots, we have about 48 minutes of solid to good to great defense that we can throw out between four players in our rotation of our guards and wings. So even though we might be undersized, we can give maximum effort on damn near every possession because it's a rotation of them. It's not just one guy or two guys playing 40 minutes at the wings and at the guards fighting over screens all night, which is damn near impossible to do at this level. Where how much screen roll is called. We getting 25 to 28 minutes out of IQ, Grimes, Hart, and RJ every night. And
Efficiently. Yeah.
yeah, like because if you notice, as Hart got here, RJ's defense has improved. It's
Okay.
you can say
It's true.
but his
Less
defense has improved
responsibility,
since
right?
Hart got here. Yeah,
So
it's less
His whole game,
responsibility and
his whole
less
game,
minutes. It's
his
less
whole
minutes.
game is improved.
right.
So
Who games has improved?
RJ, he's had some good games since RJ's
Man,
been here.
So
I
nice,
don't.
real quick, nice. I just put a poll up on Twitter to
Uh-huh.
ask Knicks fans which era of New York Knicks basketball they prefer, the Julius Randle era or the Carmelo Anthony era. And I shouted
Uh-huh.
you out in a tweet too, by the way. I mean, big shout
Oh,
out.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to my man, and giving you thanks for the conversation piece too. You know what I'm saying? Like, always trying to give our peeps credit for you know what I'm saying, their creations and stuff. A
is
lot of
it the
people
For
don't do
era
sure.
that.
or the
A lot of people
player?
don't do that.
Is it
Huh?
the era
No,
For
or the
the
sure.
error.
player?
No, the error.
Okay,
The error.
okay,
Error.
then okay, yeah.
I'm telling you right now, like one thing that I see that seems so special is that there's no number one. There's no the way that they look at each other. There's no number one, but you know something? Like my name is in the conversation of top seven in this position. My name isn't. You know something? Screw this. Let's grit it out. This is a team that has like defenders all around. They have Jr. They have Emmanuel quickly.
Hmm.
Man, Grimes. I'm telling you, these are players that any team that is contending, they want to have players like that in their team because whenever they need to lock up on another superstar on the other team, they need players like that. And we have like 3, 4, or 5 players like that all around.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. I see you. I mean, yeah, it's tough for me to. I respect where you coming from, man. It's kind of tough for me to get into that part of it. I invite others to do so though, because I'm like your homie. I'm merely here for the entertainment. You know what I'm saying? I'm merely here for the
Yeah.
entertainment. So yeah, man. Man, I can dig it. I can dig it. Gi, what are you thinking about the front office now? You think the front office is in a space? And the
I
thing
think
is, you and I have had this weird tango dance type thing with the front office over the past couple of years. So where are we? Should I awake Free Keith and have him join the conversation?
no, I think I better get mine in because when Free Keith comes, I think he's gonna go for 15 minutes to tell me and you how
Straight.
impatient we were, and we got things quicker than we even thought we would.
Yeah.
No 6'9" guy even came through the door yet, and we were already way better than we thought. We're pushing 50 wins. We're pushing 50 wins. We're pushing 50 wins.
Yep.
Hey, Freezer, did you tell
So
him
what
about
I
that
think?
Obi
Hold
stat?
on,
My bad,
hold on.
my bad, G.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think management is going after ball players.
Okay.
Ball players. I think if you want to play ball, and I don't know what that means. I don't know what they're finding them. I don't know what the target is. I think they got a black book they're not letting loose because when they bring guys here, somehow they just want to play ball and they want to grow. And it might not even be the best development. It might not even be the best coach to grow under, but it's happening and the environment is changing. And I'm shutting up.
Wow.
I think front office has done a better job. Getting Josh Hart was huge. Getting iHeart, I thought was crucial off the bench. I thought the front office has done a better job this season, though.
Okay. Man. I mean, I don't. In terms of what the front office did or didn't do, man, I'm not for sure how to feel about it. Like I have been saying since the Donovan Mitchell non-trade that I'm apathetic to the season. I'm the needle is definitely moving for me some, but I still feel like I'm in that place where, you know, I'm not knocking anybody else on how they root for the season as such. I do think what nice said, man, is very polarizing in terms of the Randle and the Melo thing. I had never even thought about because as a Knicks fan, were you frustrated leading up to the Amari Carmelo era? I was. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was a frustrated Knicks fan leading up to it, even though we had Zach Randolph and Jamal Crawford, and David Lee,
Trevor Ariza, Matt Barnes,
Tyson Chandler.
Yeah, and a bunch of guys, right? I
was still, Eddie Curry, Danilo Gallinari.
Yeah, I was frustrated leading up to that Carmelo era. And truth be told, I was frustrated also in the post Carmelo era leading up to the Julius Randle era. I was very frustrated as a Knicks fan then, right? And both eras kind of surprised me with some performances, like the Ray Felton game. Yeah, anybody remember the Ray Felton game?
Oh my God!
Oh, I remember that when he went off.
Yeah, Ray Felton looked like the best point guard in the NBA for one game.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He had a few of those. Freezie, he had a few.
No, he had a few. I'm talking about the game. I'm talking about the Ray Felton game. I'm not talking about the 24 and 8 games. I can't remember how many points he scored. But yeah, and during that Melo era was also Linsanity. Linsanity was in that Melo era also.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But you know something, Freezie, something so. If you go more into that on what happened with the Linsanity era, Amir Stoudemire said it himself. There were certain people that didn't want it Lin there because they was overshining. Yeah. You look at Jay Hart era while Randle is here, Randle is applauding it. Randle is like, I'm loving it. That's the difference. That's what I'm talking about. If you look at Julius Randle could be double teamed, but if he sees you right, let's say in the corner of his eyes that you wide open, he's not thinking about forcing it no more. It's not the Julius Randle from last year or Julius Randle from 3 years ago. It's Julius Randle from 2 years ago, 2.0.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And his defense has been better too, Randle. You see
man,
playing physical, defense contesting shots, really more at the wing, blocking shots, and it's also his athleticism. Randle's been hopping like Kangaroo Jack and throw it down. I mean, dude, getting offensive boards, posting them in the block. He's shown the whole repertoire. He didn't do that last year. This year and in 2021, he's had a whole package. And what I love about Randle, I'm sorry for interrupting everybody. I'm very sorry. What I love about what Randle's doing. Randle's also making the right reads. He's not trying to, do too much. He's finding the driving kick, the wraparound pass, baseline cuts and etc. to find the open man. And he's just been phenomenal though. And
so are you saying that Randle would sacrifice personal stats to win, whereas Melo would never sacrifice personal stats?
Just go and say yes.
I'm asking. I'm just asking, just in general.
I'm be like poetry and just say yes.
I'm a hold reservations on this. I'm a hold reservations on it until Randle wins a playoff series. Then the discussion will just be on full tilt. When he does that, then I'll then
he tried to throw a grenade in there though. He tried to slide a grenade in there. Nobody took it.
I'll say this. I would take Carmelo Anthony's pursuit of personal stats over Randle's unselfish play, because Carmelo Anthony, at the end of the day, was more of a game changer, impact player than Julius Randle is. And
nice.
If hypothetically speaking, if you were to swap prime Melo for Julius Randle on his team, you wouldn't have zero doubts about going to the Eastern Conference Finals, in my mind. you
I mean, it's a
probably
possibility,
Melo
but
on this
it's a
team
projection.
versus
Hold on.
Melo on this team versus Randle on this team, basically.
yeah. If you put prime Melo on his team over this iteration of Randall, you'd be more pressed to think we probably go to the
Why
Eastern
not? Why
Conference
not
Finals.
prime Melo versus prime Randle?
We haven't even
I
seen
mean,
Prime
is this
Randall.
not prime Randall? Well, guys hit
No,
their
this isn't
primes in the
prime Randle.
NBA. Guys hit their primes in the NBA around 27 years old, 27, 28. Freezy. That's statistical fact. Like every guy's best season statistically is 27, age 27,
No,
28
No, what
for
I'm
the
going to
most
say to
part.
that is, what I'm going to say is a top 3 pick at age 27, 28 is probably in his prime. Like when Jason Tatum is 28, we'll probably see the best version of Jason Tatum we'll ever see. Right.
If
In terms of that's in terms of all the skills and athleticism together. Because they go like this, like the athleticism will be here and the skills will be here, and then there's a mesh point where they come together, and then they start going, you know what I'm saying, where you don't jump as high, run as fast, but you're a better free throw shooter, passer, shooter than you've ever been.
I think Randall is different, Freezy. I think Randall still have. I'm telling you right now, Randall is a discrepancy on many other players. Randall still haven't even reached his peak. What is Randall? 28? I'm telling you right now, Randall might be even better when he gets to 30.
Okay. Okay.
Let's not forget too, maybe 25-30% of the NBA players that come in the league at 21, 19, 20 make it to 27, 28. So that's the other part too. We are really seeing the elite as well. So we're seeing elite at their prime.
Okay.
So somebody on the chat, Freezy, and everybody on the panel said that Melo will be Hall of Fame and Randall is question mark. I'm gonna say
Randall
this.
hasn't done
I'm
enough to
gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I don't want to jinx him, so knock on wood. One thing about Melo, nobody could argue that he's not a Hall of Fame because he is. But if once Randall gets that chip for New York, man, for New York, that's our true Hall of Famer because he brought that shit.
Right,
So
but nice.
but
Nice. Let me say this though. Let me say this to them. Nobody's arguing who is the better player all time. The question, and it was direct, was which era do you prefer, Carmelo Anthony or Julius Randle? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a Denver Nuggets era of Carmelo before a New York Knicks era of Carmelo too.
I'll take Randall.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so ultimately, like when you get back to like the question is, do you enjoy as a Knicks fan the Carmelo Anthony era from beginning to end, or the Julius Randle era from beginning to end? Let me so I got a couple of let me do these super chats real quick. So Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, hope that poll said Melo beat Boston in the playoffs. Paris Duggar also says the front office got us a 4th seed again and all of our assets. Yep. But even though this is not totally accurate, right? But I understand where you're going with it. This is not totally accurate. The 2023 Dallas Mavericks pick was not acquired by this front office. But I understand where you're going with it, and it makes sense. And Paris Duggar says also prime Melo and no Heatles on this team is finals. Okay.
Scott Perry was here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great point. Okay. Yeah, great point, man. And Scott Perry was here. So, but yeah, man. My thing is, if we're going by what Carmelo Anthony brings to the table, I gotta go with Melo. But I ain't gonna lie to you. This era of Julius Randle, this kumbaya era of all these cats playing together is kind of like heartwarming to me. It's kind of like Disney movie-ish, where you have a undersized point guard playing above his physical capabilities, right? You have, great stories like Obi Toppin and Jericho Sims in a dunk contest. You got Julius Randle after games with his son trying to talk to him about the play-by-play for the game. Like, Dad, that shot you took in the third quarter. And you're like, easy, okay, young fella, let me talk to Harlow. Harlow got a mic in my face. You know what I'm saying? I'm part of that stuff. Dan Tony and his expensive suits looking unbothered because he knows more about offense than anybody in the league versus Tom Thibodeau, who looks like he wants to yell at somebody, but there's nobody close enough for him to yell at. So he just scream out, "Hey!" So you know what I'm saying? So it's like all these different things that kind of go along with it that make you, you know what I'm saying? Whether you enjoy the Melo era, I'm not saying nobody said you couldn't enjoy both. And nobody's pitting one player versus the other. It's merely which era do you prefer more? Did you enjoy more? I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. That the Melo era was frustrating to me because of Melo getting blocked at the rim by Hibbert. You know what I'm saying? That still bothers me. The ticky tack Amon Shumpert 3-point foul on Paul George when clearly he didn't touch Paul George on the three, and they gave Paul George 3 shots to put them up by 6. And everybody blamed Shumpert, even though the tape clearly showed Shumpert didn't touch his arm. Stuff like that to kind of bothered me. Now, also, and during the Randle era, being in Atlanta and watching my team not be able to defeat a Hawks team that
we were favored against.
Yeah. So I mean, there are a lot of things on both sides. If you ask me which one I enjoy more, I think I enjoyed this one more. The players seemed to smile more. Yeah. There was less Amari smashing his hands.
Agreed.
There was less.
No controversy for this team.
J.R. Smith blowing in LeBron James' ear.
Untying shoes.
It's just stuff when you remember.
You mean Lance Smith?
Yeah,
I mean Lance
who's LeBron.
Getting your brother signed to the team.
Yeah,
when he should have been, working in the audio visual department.
Yeah, Chris Smith was trash.
Andre Barrett being a moron, shooting a 3 when we're up too late in the game, under a man to go.
He tried to dunk from the free throw line without a running start. Y'all remember that?
Oh yeah.
Bargnani took off from the free throw line
against Philly, and he hurt
his arm almost popped off like a Mr. Potato Head arm.
Yes.
Like, damn.
Yeah.
What about being stated my 3 on Boston Celtics almost win, but he was like a second off.
A second too late. Yeah.
That's pre-Melo, yeah.
Hey, that was pretty mellow, but I loved it, man, because the way that they played even then, I remember, man, you guys bring me back to the past. When they played with that intensity, that night I did not care if we won or we lost. Regardless, you saw that they wanted to play. That's what I'm saying. If you look at this team right now, everybody want to play.
They love each other.
Right.
Yeah. Look at tonight. Tonight, even quickly, he was about to take a 3. He was contested. He passes to iHeart. iHeart free up even more space, getting quickly man now to guard him, and he passed it right back to quickly for that open 3. Man, I'm telling you.
I'll do you one better. Last game, when Quick threw it off the backboard for Randle in the dunk. And then the reaction,
man.
But how the team came together.
Right.
Man, preach, brother. Preach. Hey, have you seen the post game that they even told and corrected Quick? Hey, Quick, what do you think? That's not an assist when you did that to Randle because it touched the backboard. I'm pretty sure he knew. And he played it off. He said, what? Really? Man, I got to speak to officials or something because, man, that is an assist. But he knew it. They don't care about that. They only care about winning. Even today, they even asked quickly, on the court, there was 2 guys running on for that number 6 man spot, and you one of them. And you know what he said? That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the same thing that even Grimes said last time. That hey, so Jay Hart is taking your time, and this, hey man, I don't even care if he's taking my time as long as we win it. That's what I want to hear from everybody.
And he shouted out his mom.
They want the best.
Oh man, but you see how lovely it is.
Yeah.
Even on the last game, not tonight's game, but the one previous to it, that they even asked RJ, hey RJ, yeah, like they asked him in the post game this and this and that, and this really rubbed me off the wrong way when he said, oh yeah, we playing better, and it's because we passed. Bro, are we in a 5 or 6 losing streak or something? Because the way you speaking, just because you played good today, oh now we're playing good. What the get this dude out of here, because I don't like that energy. If you was another one to bring up that spirit,
I don't respect
to bring up that spirit, it's like, man, that's one lovely thing. And I'm not even RJ, but I'm just speaking out of my mind. Like, man, if I'm RJ, I'll be like, man, that's the great thing about playing for the Knicks. I'm off, but you know something? These cats that I'm playing with, they playing in a way that I could be off, and I could rely on them because they're gonna still have us on top. But he ain't said that. And once he said what he said, I'm like, yo, get this dude out of here.
Who was that nice that said that?
RJ
said that? Okay.
Yeah, once I heard that, I'm like, what?
When Nice is trying to say, he said so nonchalant, he didn't have energy, he didn't say with emphasis, he just said, hey, we're playing good basketball. We're like, come on, man.
He said that today was the best game or something like that. And I'm like, what? So and I started thinking, like, what? Do we have like 5 or 6 losing streak? Because the way he's talking about, it's like today was the only day that we actually won. No, Mother Flower, we've been winning this whole time. And just because you played better, oh now the whole team is playing better. Shut up.
Yeah. But for those people that's even killed like that, bro, you know what I'm saying? When things go bad, you know what I'm saying? But then when things go good, it's like you always get the same thing. You know what I'm saying? That's why when people say, yo, I like my players to be even killed, man, I'm like, yeah, it sounds good in theory. You know what I'm saying? But because that way you insulate yourself when things go bad. But when things go good, man, you just want to get some positive feedback.
Yeah.
You know
exactly.
You know. So I mean, it's the thing is with RJ, man, is when people are kind of the robotic mentality like that, the android mentality, sometimes you just gonna get that. Like when things go bad, they are unbothered, and then when things go great, it's like they pulse don't. You know what I'm saying? Don't go. But hey, guys, I got to get out of here, man, and put these feet back up. I ain't mean to stay for this long. I got to go. I got to do what the doctor say, man.
Hey, salute to all.
Yeah, man, and thank y'all for coming to Ron Cleveland. Where you at? I sent Ron Cleveland the link. He ain't even show up, man.
Ron Cleveland is still celebrating.
One question too. Do you think Rose will be here past Wednesday or no? You think he's gonna get bought out? What's the feeling?
Nah, he's still gonna be here.
He's staying. Okay. He'll be here. They were chanting for a minute. Anyway, hey, peace, y'all.